gamers, and welcome to episode 448 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for March 9th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson. With me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
It's not much, man. We had some few things to talk about in gaming, but I'm gonna get to sports real quick first. Let me get that out of the way. So, preseason baseball still going on. O's from my local team are looking pretty good. That's all I've been paying attention to, and so I'm just waiting for the baseball season. NBA, my Wizards have finally won 10 games as of yesterday. As of this podcast yesterday, so they finally did it. It hasn't been since January since they won a game. So now they finally got the double digits. They're tied with the Detroit Pistons. Man, it could have been bad, man. We could have been the last place by ourselves. So I got something to look forward to, like the fight for last place, Daniel, between the Wizards and the Pistons. And see, in basketball, it doesn't really matter that much to be last place. You just want to be at least in the bottom three, because you get the most chances in those, and because it's a lottery, and really, like, the bottom three has a really good chance of getting that first pick. Even though I don't know who's come out of college, but I don't know enough about college basketball to know who's the top people, regardless. But so I don't want us to be in last place. So, like, I don't have no way to root for to be in last place. We're going to get a top pick. I just don't know, because it's a lottery. It doesn't matter if you're last. So I might as well root to not be in last place. So now I'm rooting for them to win games and keep up with the Pistons. Let's see who is the worst. Excuse me. And then what other news has been happening? I know football. There's a lot of stuff been happening. Football. I ain't paying too much attention to it, though. I know Russell Wilson is gone from Denver. He's been released. Mm-hmm. But he's getting paid a whole lot of money.
It's a hell of a way to go out.
Yeah, so, but I wonder, like, who's going to pick him up for that contract, though, that he has. But yeah, so they say, like, something like $85 million or something. Like, God damn, like, that is such a man. Like, what the hell happened? Like, Russell Wilson comes, I think some people still say he'd be a Hall of Famer, but I wonder, like, if his season's over now, is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's not, for me, it's not a definite yes, but, if some people think that he is, and other people think he is, they can vote him in, then fine, then he is. But I have no idea. But, I think he was a good quarterback, but it's just like how he just fell off. It's kind of just, it's like Willie falling, and then going to Denver, and just the first year was just bad. The second year, he was actually okay. Like, he was okay, and statistically, he was actually all right, man. He was all right quarterback this year, but then the defense wasn't as good, so it didn't balance out. While last year the defense was great, but he wasn't good, and that was the whole point of getting him. So, and that's the thing. People were saying that, like, he was actually pretty good last year. Like, it's the team that messed up. But I look at, like, somebody said, you know what? You're right. Like, he actually was pretty good. But you're paying him like $250 million or $200-something million. You don't want this pretty good. Yeah. like you don't pay for that. Like, you could have paid a lot of other QBs to do what he did. Like he was pretty good, but you not for that price, you wasn't great. Like, you're expecting more for that type of price you paid for him. So so see, that's the thing. And for him, it was guaranteed. A lot of that contract was guaranteed, man. So good on him. Like, good for him. Just, hey, bad luck for the Denver Broncos. Sorry, John Elway. Just gotta find something. I hope they find somebody for him, for that team, and I hope maybe he find a team. Not my team, though. Not Washington. I work on that somewhere else. All right, so what else? I don't really have much to say. I can't think of anything huge, really, because I honestly haven't been paying attention too much. Oh, college basketball, women's. I know the tournaments have been going on around the league. I know our Maryland girls have beaten the top seed in the Big Ten, Ohio State. So that's good, but they still have do they still have the semifinals or the finals? I forget where they at on the chart. I think they just had the finals up or the semifinals. Don't get me lying. But all I know is that hey, they were supposed to lose here, so they still got a chance. Because this is probably the worst I've seen Maryland girls in a long time. Well, actually, put it like this. Since I've been paying attention to college basketball, women's basketball, this is the first time I've seen college girls really been this bad, honestly. Because when I was following women's college basketball, Maryland girls was actually good. They weren't the best, definitely, but they were good. I did see them when they did win. But, yeah, I'd never seen them this bad before. And it definitely were never this bad in Big Ten. So, hey, if they somehow come out and win the Big Ten tournament, it's like, darn, even your worst team, you still came out on top. That's pretty damn good. So, hopefully, they can come out on top. Men's, some tournaments are going on, but not the big tournaments. So, not until next week is where the big tournaments are happening. Like when I say big tournament, I mean the bigger divisions have their conferences have their tournaments happening. So I'll see if Maryland can at least get out the first round. I guess that's all I'm really hoping for with that team because they haven't been looking good this year. And I'm just only luck. I mean, I hope somehow they can hope a miracle happen. That they somehow win in the Big Ten tournament. I hope that happens. They still have never won the Big Ten tournament since they've been there. This year doesn't look like a good year, but maybe that's it. Hey, the year that I definitely don't think they're going to do it, they'll do it. Yeah. Hey, that's what happened when they won ACC tournament. Like, of all the teams I thought could do it, it wasn't the team that did it that I expected when they won in 2004. Oh, my goodness. That was a miracle. They beat Duke. I wanted to cry. But, yeah, so that's it. So, any wrestling news?
Just last week was AEW's Revolution pay-per-view. I haven't seen it, but it was Sting's final match. Apparently, it was very good. Very nice send-off for him. He and Darby did retain the tag team titles against the Young Bucks, and they have now relinquished the titles, basically, because Sting is retired, and Darby is actually going off to climb Mount Everest soon. So that's interesting.
Whatever, man, because from what I heard, Daniel, even though Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world, is actually not the hardest mountain to climb. Geez. So now I'm not as impressed by people climbing Mount Everest. I said, y'all got me up here just thinking like, man, these people are amazing. And then I'm like, you know what? No. What's the hardest mountain to climb? And then I want you to hear somebody climb that. Then you impress me. Even though I probably can't even go up 10 feet on that damn mountain.
Apparently the Annapurna is the most treacherous, according to...
Yeah. Climb that one,
or
baby.
the K2 at the border of Pakistan and China. Yeah, that's... I don't want to do...
What about Mount Trashmore in Virginia? Which is a hill. It's a big hill.
What about the Appalachians, Dominic?
Oh yeah, going through those mountain folk is hard enough.
Exactly.
You gotta survive them.
Yeah, so that happened, and then on Dynamite this week, Kazuchika Okada, the former kind of top guy of New Japan Pro Wrestling, made his debut. He's apparently aligning with the Young Bucks as part of their new kind of heel gimmick, and that should be interesting. That feels like it's different enough from what he was doing in New Japan, because a lot of my problem with him choosing AEW over like a WWE is that a lot of the guys that he would intermingle with in AEW are already guys we've seen him face in New Japan. So I was concerned that it would maybe be pretty stale. So taking kind of a different direction with him, I think is definitely a good idea. This coming Dynamite is allegedly going to be the debut of Mercedes Moné, that is formerly Sasha Banks. So that will be exciting. Hopefully with her debut, we start to see a higher focus on the women's division. I would not be at all surprised if that was, stipulations in her contract of coming in was somehow raising that division up, because that's part of why she left WWE, was that she and Naomi did not feel that the women's tag team titles were being taken seriously. So they left. WWE is just kind of full steam ahead leading into WrestleMania. It is now official that The Rock and Roman Reigns will be facing Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes on the first night of WrestleMania. So that's it should be pretty interesting to see what kind of ring shape The Rock is in. Obviously, a tag match gives him a bit of an out. He doesn't have to necessarily do a lot of heavy lifting, figuratively and literally. And then, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'm excited for WrestleMania. I think this match definitely feels like one of the bigger main events that we have seen over the last couple of years of WrestleManias. And then obviously the match that will follow, which will be Cody versus Roman on the second night of WrestleMania, I think will also be a huge clusterfuck. The Rock will be in some way, shape, or form involved, whether it be helping the Bloodline or turning on the Bloodline, which, that could be a pretty incredible kickoff to a storyline between Roman and the Rock. So that should be interesting. The only thing I'd be concerned about, that if we're going in that direction, is that then you have Cody as the champion and not at the top of the card, because all of these pay-per-views, and I say all of these, but it'll only be the biggest ones, really. I don't expect Roman and The Rock to be working like Judgment Day or that's not even a pay-per-view necessarily, but something along that line, some lower level thing. It would be SummerSlam and probably the Saudi shows, because those just rake in so much money and they could actually pay The Rock. But I've seen that in the past happen to champions who, they tell these incredible stories to finally put the title on them, and then they kind of take a back seat to a different storyline that's going on. And then, the title doesn't feel as special because it's not the biggest thing on the show anymore. So I hope that doesn't happen to Cody. I mean, considering the fan reaction to him right now and the merch sales and all that stuff, I feel like they have to respect him as a quote unquote top guy. But the Rock is on his own, in his own stratosphere, basically. And the same with Roman Reigns to an extent. So that's wrestling.
All right. So what do I have here? Where we at here? And then what we were watching, which we were going to skip.
Yep.
Because we didn't watch anything significant. Wait a minute. Have you seen any trailers?
Just what did I mention to you? The Fallout one. I watched that.
Yeah.
It looks pretty all right. I'm intrigued to see what that show ends up actually being. Walter Goggins is in it, and he's usually really good in stuff. So he's the only one that I really recognize, though.
The full trailer of the I only saw that teaser trailer of Fallout. I have to look at that one. But the Ghostbusters new one that's coming out.
Oh, I didn't even realize there was a new trailer out for that.
Oh, yeah, I haven't watched the full, I always seen clips of the trailer, but I've never seen the full of it. But I need to go see that last movie now, because I'm excited for this, man. Like this one. Because I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. Well, I used to be as a kid. The original two. I didn't like the last one. I mean, not the last one. The one before last. But the last one, Afterlife, I never did watch. I had totally forgot about it, because when they said it was coming out, I think what year was that? Was that COVID year? I think it was.
Yeah,
and
it's somewhere around there, maybe 2021.
Yeah, I was confused with when movies were coming out.
Yeah,
like because it was still that weird time of movies coming out on either just going straight to streaming and then I just didn't, and I wasn't really looking at like movie news like I used to. So I had totally missed that it came out, and the reviews were okay. They were okay reviews for it. But I just totally forgot about the movie, and yeah, I gotta check that movie out. Because I seen some of the little bit that I've seen of it. I mean, since they're doing an actual sequel to that, I mean, I was like, oh, I guess this done enough for them that they feel like they can do a sequel to. So let me see how that is. Then maybe I might want to see this. I mean, I'm happy that happy it's happened, because I mean, it's been years I wanted this, and I was basically at a point where I just didn't care, because like I think there should have been a third one years ago when these guys were younger.
Yeah.
And not that I'm saying like because they should have been the main characters. I'm saying younger as they were still old, but they weren't ancient. And I mean, no offense to, but Bill Murray looks old.
Yeah.
Like he looks really old. And like, yes, he was old, but I wish there was a movie like 20 years ago where they did this, where he was still old, but he was old like you still can do something. You know, you don't seem old, like but you're old enough to say you can retire, and then give it to some other guys or something like that. Yeah, I'm curious, like what how the story goes with this. Anyway, but I'm like, it's back in the city. It's not out where, because I think they were out in a town.
Yeah, it seemed like that
in the other setting. But yeah, now they're kind of back in the city, so it's like, yeah, okay. So I'm like, yeah, because I like Ghostbusters. I used to love that franchise. Like, I used to watch the movie a billion times, the first one, as a kid, and the second one I really liked, even though, I mean, it's really not that good. The first one's really is that, but yeah. All right, I mean, it's something that should have been bigger. It felt like it's almost a franchise that I felt like, man, that could have been. They could have done what Turtles did. Yeah. Really. Honestly. I don't know what happened. I mean, they did have that one that came out in the late 90s, where they were like a younger cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
One
is that the
where
real
they had the guy. Yeah, huh? Well, the real Ghostbusters was
Ghostbusters or something.
Yeah, the Extreme Ghostbusters. Yeah, the real Ghostbusters was the one that came in like the late 80s and early 90s, or whatever. That's the one I was watching as a kid. Yeah, the Extreme Ghostbusters came out in like the late 90s, and they had a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So it was a Ghostbuster. Hey, man, they're progressive back then, Daniel.
Yeah.
You know, they had a woman. Mm-hmm. They had well, actually, she might have been a girl, because I don't know how old they were supposed to be. They looked like I think they were young adults.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was, but as I was watching it, I didn't hate it. I was like, hey, this is actually all right. And a person who I was friends with, because he's older, so he appreciated Ghostbusters more. I mean, I say that because me as a kid, you know, it's different. I mean, because you like things you just like, you know, you don't. He was an older kid when Ghostbusters came out, so he was really into it. So he was telling me like, hey, like seen Ghostbusters. He didn't come saying like, oh, this sucks. And so he's like, it's actually pretty good. I said, oh, okay, I'll check it out. And I was like, oh yeah, that cartoon is pretty good. It's just that was a time when it wasn't DVRs back then. And I damn sure wasn't gonna be like trying to stop a tape and try to record timer tape and nothing like that, because it came on, I think, like either early in the morning or too late in the morning when I'm either going to school or something like that. So I couldn't really catch it. I only caught it when I was off, like when I was out of school.
Yeah.
So I can't really see it like that. But yeah, it's like that's a franchise that I'm surprised they didn't even try to do another cartoon.
Yeah. I wonder how much that has to do with, like, you know, the actors, if that has anything to do with them, if they have some kind of,
I wonder how much
ownership over
how much money,
or something.
But see, that's the thing, because they were able to do that movie with the girls, and you know, Dan Aykroyd was always trying to get that movie off the ground, and so I'm thinking like, okay, so he doesn't have the total rights if he doesn't, well, he doesn't have like full rights to it or anything. So that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised they didn't try to milk this franchise like they do the Turtles. Like, though the Turtles, I'm not going to say they did a bad job, because I mean, the shows that Turtles have come out post what we saw, like the first one that came out post what we saw, that was good on Fox.
Yeah,
that was actually better. Actually, that was like a better show. It was a better show. Then they had that 3D one that came on Nickelodeon. Well, no, okay, don't count the puppet one. That was bad. With the real puppets, with one they had that we were like supposed to remind you of the movies.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They were
that
horrible.
The one
it was horrible.
Introduced the lady turtle,
the girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Then they yep, and that's when we was like, oh, females make everything worse. That's when we regressed, Daniel. We were progressing, Daniel. We were progressing, and that turtle show regressed us back.
That turtle single-handedly created Gamergate.
Yeah.
It's responsible.
So
you can trace all of it back.
So then they had the so actually the other Fox show was after that show. Then they had Nickelodeon with the computer animated show that was pretty good. Now I haven't watched the latest Turtle shows. Any of the later Turtle shows I haven't watched, so I can't compare.
Yeah.
But that Nickelodeon first one with the computer animated one, that was all right. That's all right show. So I think Turtles did a pretty good job. Like, they didn't really, I don't think they didn't really have it like where I wouldn't say they milked it in a bad way. Mm-hmm. It's a good milking. It was some good milking. It's
never mind.
Yep. They didn't get the others dry, you know. But where I'm at here. So I guess we get to what we've been playing. So what you been playing, man?
So I played the Princess Peach Showtime demo that's now out on the Switch. With that game coming out, I believe, this month later. You know, they're preparing people for it. It seems fine. This is, I think I had initially said that when I first saw it, it reminded me kind of a Kirby-esque thing, you know, a simpler game where you're maybe getting these different powers and it allows you different abilities. I think that's kind of exactly what it is. It doesn't seem like a game where you're going to be dying too much. You're just going to kind of be adventuring through these levels, which so far I've played 2 of them. That's what I think that's actually all that's in the demo. I think I did see to completion of that demo. And they're very linear levels. The first one you played as Sword Fighter Peach, and that was perfectly fine. She has kind of a parry. It almost felt like it was kind of playing itself, though, to be honest with you. And then the second was like Baker Peach, which felt more like a mini game kind of collection. Like you are going through a linear level, but you stop at these points, and it was basically like, okay, you're going to go up to this mixing bowl and you're going to press A a whole bunch of times, or B, I guess. Yeah, B a whole bunch of times, and then you're going to create cookies, but you have to stop pressing B before you go too far, and it ruins your cookies. And then there was a second one where it's like, here's this time thing where you're floating above cakes and you have to decorate them with your icing bag, your piping bag. It's cute as kind of a different thing to do, because I feel like that game is so basic in its kind of a play style that if you're just like doing the same kind of combat but in a different costume, that would get extremely repetitive. So I'd really have to see how often you're kind of diverting into these mini game style things. Yeah, it's okay. It's definitely not, you know, a Mario game, and it's definitely intended for a younger audience. I will say, though, for something that I noticed in a game like this, where it's seemingly aimed at a younger audience, and this is just Nintendo, but like, there's no voice acting. You could have voice acting so kids who can't read yet can play your stupid game. And also adults who don't want to read anymore can play your stupid game without having to read. And they really just need to do something about that. I don't know. Maybe that's how they get around like having these super inflated budgets is by not hiring actors to do voice work. So like,
it doesn't seem like you need that good of actors. I mean, because like if does it feel like those type of games, like those, especially like the Mario games,
sure,
or something like it's like it's not. I don't mean like good at actors. It shouldn't be that many words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just have something goofy, or like have it like you have like, hey, this is like a little toadstool telling you how to play the game, and he's the one talking. Yeah, like you said, for those kids,
yeah,
who can't really read well or that well, whatever, and adults who can't read and can't read that well, like me. So
or just don't want to.
Yeah,
that's my excuse at least.
But yeah, so yeah, I didn't even think about that, Daniel. Like I said, like, hey, these little kids games, but I was like, you know what? There'd be words and stuff up here too, and yeah. So some of these, especially for like somebody like your daughter or something, they can't read everything on the screen, or some kids anything, but they can still play games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's intended for like a slightly older audience where they can read, but yeah, like I just happened to be sitting here this morning because she was sitting there watching me play it, and I'm like, usually she'll ask me to read the stuff to her, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, yeah, why can't the game just read it to you? Good question. All right. So I played that, and then I also finally got around to playing the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. So far, I'm not sure how far into the demo I am. I'm not sure how long the demo is. And honestly, what I wanted to look up was whether your progress in this demo carries over, because I believe this is basically just the beginning of the game. And it's basically takes place with you as Cloud going back to Nibelheim, which is your hometown and Tifa's hometown, along with Sephiroth to basically visit this reactor that something's going on at it. It takes place, I believe, 5 years before the events of current day. And, you know, with that, you're like a 16-year-old Cloud. So yeah, you kind of first go in there, you're exploring the village. You just kind of got to check some things off the list before you can move on to the next portion. And then once you do that stuff, you can then get out into the world. Well, not out into the world because you don't really see the open world stuff yet. But you go up into the mountains, headed towards the reactor. Tifa joins you as your guide. She's not a playable character, at least so far. And you play mostly as Cloud, but eventually you are able to have Sephiroth join your party, even though he's there the entire time. He's basically like testing you because you're all gung-ho and young, and you're like, I want to be on this mission. I got to take care of everybody. I'm going to fight all these enemies myself. But eventually you get to some harder guys, and Sephiroth joins your team. So I got to experience the combat of like switching between characters and playing as him. I think the combat is good. It's, you know, it's pretty similar to what they did in the remake, which I think I was kind of uneven about. I definitely find myself still pressing X by mistake, which is the command button, instead of square, I think it is, which is the attack button. So I'll like pause things for a moment and then kind of like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, really kind of panic. But for the most part, I'm getting more used to it. I'm playing it on easy, so I don't plan on really struggling much. From what I heard is like easy, you're pretty much not going to have to worry too much about potions and healing and stuff. And for me, that's
pretty much like that in the first game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do. Is I want to experience the story, and you know, I have a little bit of difficulty, but not face too much adversity here. Yeah, I mean, it very much gives me memories of playing that original game, and it is incredible how good that game looks. Yeah, I don't know that I'm necessarily like, I got to play this game, but it is giving me kind of a push to want to at least give a couple of hours to the remake and see if it catches me. Like, I've seen the story of that, so I don't know that necessarily I'm going to go through the whole thing, although I haven't heard any of like the Yuffie stuff, and I would like to see that. Yeah, so I too am thinking about that. That's just, it's such a long game. Even if I mainline it, I feel like it's going to take up a lot of time.
Because you talk about playing through the original one, at least some of it.
Yeah, because you can't. Can you?
I mean,
can
remake.
You just skip straight to that stuff, like the integrate?
I think
stuff?
you can.
Oh.
I think Yuffie it's standalone.
Then maybe I will go about that direction then. I'd be interested to see how that is. But yeah, I think what I'm hearing of Rebirth and like how expansive the open world is, I'm just getting like the nostalgia tinges of like going out in the world in Final Fantasy VII and getting on the airship and just kind of floating around. I don't think you get that far in this second game, but it sounds like the open world is there. So I'd like to see all of those areas that I remember pretty fondly. So, So what have you been playing, Dominic?
All right, so I've been playing some more Man Eater. Got a little farther in that game. Finally got to a point where I guess this is the closest to open ocean you can really get. Like, I got to a part of the areas where, like, you can see the open ocean, but there is a border though. Like some type of, like, that won't allow you to go even further. But it's a lot more ocean, than land, and I actually saw a killer whale and I fought it, and they do make them hard, which is I was like, okay, yeah, because they're like level 30, which is like near the max level, and which is, I think that is the max level of the original game. So my cheats got me there too fast, Daniel. I fought one, and like, well, a couple, because they usually in pods, as they say, Daniel. As I learned from National Geographic or Discovery. Then what I say? What's I do in that game? I think I fought a couple bosses. Like, you got these apex predators in areas you can fight or something like that. Like, I fought this special hammerhead shark or whatever, and man, the best part of the game to me is the commentary by the narrator, and the and just some of the stuff that, just the narrator, like what he says throughout the game, I really like. And I wish there was a thing that can let you see the dialogue, because some things I can't hear because it's still sound in the background when he's talking, and I'm like, darn, I wish that sound would go a little lighter. It has to be a little more lower, man, for I can really hear the narrator completely. But yeah, I'm having a good time with that game. I've been playing a lot of Bloodstained. I'm really closer to the end. Technically, I did beat it, but that's just like one ending, like, because you don't have to. I didn't complete the map. I didn't do everything on the map, because I didn't realize I was getting close to the boss. I was just going through the area, and then I saw, like, oh, look, it's my brother, and then that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, oh, maybe this is like a first boss battle against him or something. And then it said, like, I beat us. Holy shit! But then it said, you feel like, but then the way it ends though is like, you feel like you didn't complete everything or something like that. Like the way the girl talks. So I was like, oh, okay, good. So that's just one ending, and now I'm kind of going around completing the map. I think I got 80 something % of the map completed, man. But I think that's what Metrovania games. It's like, I like them, but I always get to a point where I don't know what the fuck to do, or like where to go. And reading guides is always confusing because they go in a certain order. It's almost like I should have probably read the guide as I was playing to know where to go. Because I'll be reading the guide, say, yeah, you do this. I was like, I already did that. And it's like, you're saying that's close to the end, but because I guess you can, you go through the game probably multiple ways. So I always that's why I always get frustrated with the like Metroidvania games is that I get to a part where it's really I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do to move forward, and then it frustrates me. I'm not that well. I just figured it out now, like what to do and like how to do things. But like some secret areas I'm trying to find, and it's like I would never have thought about doing some of the things they said do to get there. It's like, man, I would never thought of this, or I'll say I would have been lucky if I would have did that. It would have been like a luck that happened. I would have never thought to even try. But it was something that's been done in other Castlevania games, but I haven't played. I don't play them a lot to really know. So some people say like, "Hey, you should always ring the bells," like Castlevania, because they always break down and fall. I didn't know that, so because I was wondering about like how to get down to this area. I don't know what to do. I don't see like a crack to break or nothing. Like I didn't see no buttons, and then I finally figured it out. But yeah, so I'm closer to the end of that game. I'm trying to do as much as I can. I'm not going to do 100%, but I'm trying to do as much as I can before I hang it up. But I really like it. Like I like it's fully voice acted. The combat is cool. The challenge of it is really cool, even though I'm using cheats. But I realized that I would have died 1 billion times over if I had played this normal. Yeah, though I do see like I was trying to listen to one of the songs from the game, and like I was reading the comments about the music. So I was saying I wonder what people saying about the music. And then I saw some people. It was only like 4 comments on the song, but all they said was like Blasphemous is better. Blasphemous is the better game. I'm like, what the hell? Why are you commenting on the song of Bloodstain? Talk about Blasphemous. I'm thinking like, wait, are you trying to say the soundtrack's better? I mean, that's what I was thinking. I listen to Blasphemous soundtrack. It's good for the atmosphere of that game, but it's not. I don't know. I don't like Ritual better, but I was like, they must have been talking about the game, which okay, that could be, but I'm like, you waste your time. I was like, God damn it. Goddamn keyboard warriors thing, I tell you, man. It's like people, I don't even call it keyboard warriors. It's like people, it seems like they just have to say something. Well, I guess in this way, type something.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just think, like, you took the time to type something. Like, when people type something, like, you actually took the time to type this. Did you really have to? You could just not do it? I don't know. Anyway, I played some more Dave the Diver. I got to a point where I did hire some more people at the shop, so make things easier for me when I'm serving people, and I also moved along in the game for the boss battle against a squid, and saved these mermaids. Apparently, that's been down there, and yeah, because I was looking for a shipwreck, and because this guy who helps me build stuff, he lost his package. His freaking waifu anime doll that was supposed to be coming through, and I had to risk my damn life for those things.
Those things are expensive, Dominic.
Yeah. And he was up there telling you to get it. It's square to get it, and I got it. And yeah, it is funny, especially I like the cutscenes because when they show like he's trying to upgrade something for you and how he puts on his power gloves or something like that and starts working like all dramatically and stuff. And then another scene, it has like he's working on your stuff and he's doing like some anime girl, look like anime girl doing stuff like that, like anime girl music coming on and everything like that. And it's funny. All right, what else have I played? Baldur's Gate 3. I've done a lot. But right now, I am fighting the devil, and that is pretty cool. Well, it's a lot of devils, but one of the devils who's been freaking a pain in my ass, because he has something I need, but he said that he would help me if I give him this crown, which is worn by this big brain, the evil, I forgot the brain monster name is, that's really like that can control like you can something about the crown is used like you can become really powerful basically with it and like really control people's minds and all that stuff. So and that's the elder brain. They call it the elder brain. That's right. Because these little things are these brains that really can suck your like mess with your mind and stuff. But this one's like a big one, and it is like one of the more powerful things. I guess I'm in Dungeons and Dragons. I guess, and thing is, these beings are controlling it though, and because of that crown, and the devil wants that crown, and so, but I'm not going to give him that crown. I'm going to give him that power. So I basically, but I need something in his home. So I had to go in there and steal it, and now he caught me near the end when I was about to leave, and now I'm about to fight him. That's where I saved it at. And I like him. Like the voice actor who talks for him is great. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of other stuff too in that game, man. Like I'm really, I'm definitely close to the end. Like I can see the mission I need to do, like to get to the end of the game. Like I can just do it now. But I want to do these other side missions to make this easier for me because I think it helps to build up a big group. It's almost like you're trying to gain allies so you can fight this war you're about to fight. And, this battle/war. And so it was almost like, it was kind of reminding me of Mass Effect. You grab allies and things of that nature. And because I wonder, like, hey, if I just go in and fight from the start, maybe a lot of people probably die or something. So the more allies you gain, I guess maybe I have a different ending, a better ending. So I'm trying to do that now, and that's been fun. Though it's been more of a drag this part of the game because of my limitations on my PC. Because like I said, when I go through the city, man, it chugs. So I get happy when I'm getting a building. When I get in the building, I was like, thank God. Like I do not want to walk those streets again, because. Yeah, but it is just like lagging and stuff through there. But I was like, man, I'm going to finish this fucking game. I put too many hours in this game. I sure ain't going to stop now. So there's that. And what else have I played? I played some Dead Island 2. So Dead Island 2, I told you it was on Game Pass. So I finally, I had already played past the prologue area because I was just waiting for my friend to whatever he was going to play. So we finally played. Played together. Excuse me. We played about like 2 hours, a little over 2 hours or so together. We went through like a mission where it's like a hotel where there used to be a wedding. It was a wedding and guess going on in the hotel. But eventually I guess the zombie outbreak happened or something like that. So, but we were trying to meet somebody there, but I think they ended up dying. I don't know if they killed themselves or what, because honestly, even when I played it by myself, I didn't pay attention to. I was paying attention. I don't remember. And this time, I've kind of got the game on low because I'm playing on PC, and so I can hear my friend talk. So I don't hear everything too clearly, like it's the voice acting and stuff like that. So I didn't really hear what they said happened to the woman who was supposed to meet up there to help. Well, we were just kind of going to help him because we got the cure basically. Like we can get bitten. We can get bitten by zombies, but we can't change. That's basically what Dead Island was in the first game. So then there's a boss battle though when you go back downstairs because like in the ballroom. And like it's a big bride. The bride, I guess she turned to like a super zombie, and like so we were fighting her. And my friend, he came up with the strategy like he would always carry the water tank of water because if you pour the water and if you use an electrical weapon. Electricity, water, they mix pretty well down here. Because he would carry that, he would throw it on her while I slash her with either my electric sword or my electric claws I got, almost like Wolverine, and like that would help get her health down. But she was kind of whip her ass though. But we got through it because I think one of us would be down and then they go I'll pick them up or vice versa. But yeah, then we got through. It was fun, man. It was fun playing with him with that game. Oh yeah, it was. It seemed like I got all the jump damn scares though, cause I would go open door like I open the door, and thing is, I didn't remember it from the first game because that's the exact same thing happened to me the first time I played. I mean, the first time I played this game. I opened the door, the thing just jumped out at me, and then at the same damn door, man. I was letting him try to open the door, saying, "I don't want to open the door." So then I was like, "I won't go in here," and then bam, thing just got me, man. It scared the shit out of me. But yeah, that game, it's fun. It's really fun. So yeah, so that's it. So I guess we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right,
and we're back. So now we're flashbacking to 2014, and we got, how many games we got coming out in 2014? Only one? That's worth talking about?
Yeah.
So we got one game worth talking about. South Park, The Stick of Truth. This was a very anticipated South Park game because it actually looked like the cartoon.
Yeah.
And it looked like it could possibly be the best South Park game ever, and it was.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
I think the only competition was that tower defense shooter. Honestly,
yeah,
because I don't think the other games even beat that one, like the N64 one and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game it looked good, man, and it still looks good. Because it looks like the cartoon. And the whole story of it being like, these kids and they're playing their little fantasy world into like the real world, them playing, and it's and plus at the time, Game of Thrones was big, so it was like all that together to really make a great game. And like references from past South Park games, you could collect your Pokemons and things of that nature. You saw characters, there, and you can use them as summons and things of that nature. Darren, that makes me want to get the game again, play this game again, because I ain't playing it so long. Because it's been 10 years. Good God, It's been 10 years. Oh, man, it's been a while. That doesn't feel that long. I guess, yeah, I'm still thinking about the second one, too. So, yeah, man, and this game had a lot of delays, though. It actually should be more. I mean, less than, no, more than 10 years, because it should have came up probably a year ago, maybe, I think it was, or at least months ago, so it would have been 2013. But yeah, it had a lot of delays. Probably more than that. I don't know. But yeah, as I can say, oh, this game's been delayed. It's like, oh man, but it did come out and it was good. Like I really liked it. Oh yeah, the combat system too.
Yeah, it really nailed it from both the South Park tribute side of things and the actual gameplay side of things.
Oh, definitely. It was great. It was just that turn-based combat of you timing your strikes, timing your blocks. That makes that turn-based a whole lot better than it used to be. You just mash the button and attack and things
Mario
like that.
And Luigi, Super Mario, kind of style.
Yeah. You keep giving them credit, Daniel, but there's been games before that. Stop giving it to Nintendo for everything. But anyway, but yes, they I really enjoy. Oh yeah, you got anything you want to say on this?
That was pretty much it. What I wanted to say was, it really did, from both sides. As a person who was a much bigger South Park fan back when this game came out, it really hit all the beats, all the things that you would want it to hit. And it also took the kind of fantasy realm aspect of it. It used that very well to make for a very interesting interpretation of the South Park universe, because it wasn't just like, hey, it's the boys playing in the city. It was, the boys playing in the city, but there's also this fantasy aspect to it, which made some of the like man, bear, pig, and kind of wackier things that happen in South Park a little more like down to earth, almost like made more sense, I guess.
Yeah.
And obviously they did kind of the superhero thing with the second one. Yeah, I because really after this first one, it felt like they hit all of the things they could at that point. Because they really did. They had all the South Park fanfare in there that you could basically ask for. Yeah, I would like to get around to playing that second one eventually. I'm pretty sure I own it, so I think on the Switch even. So that might be a game I need to just download and start playing and see how that goes. Because yeah, and it's pretty amazing how over the top that game was too. You know, to meet the expectations of a South Park thing, like when you're with the underpants gnomes and you're like getting hit by your dad's balls or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like, that game was wild in a way that a lot of games were not at that time, or even still are, you know. So very true to the South Park franchise. So this was definitely the one where they got it right finally.
Yep. Made for kids for all ages.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So now we're going back 20 years. 20 years ago was one game worth mentioning. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, man. Metal Gear is back on Nintendo. Hasn't been there since the original Nintendo. And I was so... This is probably the most jealous I ever was of a game on a system, because all I had was PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? How are you going to remake Metal Gear Solid 1 and have it look like Metal Gear Solid 2 and be exclusive on GameCube? I was like, this is bullshit. And I was just kept telling myself, okay, this game is coming to PlayStation 2 one day. Yeah. It's just like a time exclusive or something. Never did. Made me mad. Because when I saw this game, I was like, oh my God, Twin Snakes on GameCube? I said, okay, maybe it's a time exclusive, and they bring it. And then it showed like they did have some Nintendo stuff in there, like you saw on, what we call his desk, like a Yoshi or something.
Yeah.
Like the
Otacon.
Yeah, Otacon, yeah. So maybe that's
to
what
rip
is
that out of there, Dominic. They can't do that.
I was about to say that's too hard, Daniel. That's
you
too hard to rip that stuff
it
out.
Breaks the entire code somehow.
Yeah.
They'd have to bring Kojima back in to rewrite everything from scratch.
But yeah, I was like, man, and this game, yeah, I finally played like years later. You let me borrow it. I played it on the GameCube, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I liked it. It's wacky. Like they really changed the story a bit. Like
they made it more in
like
line with the following games, Dominic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would think like, hey, this fits with the series. Like they really make some of the cutscenes a little more wackier than they were definitely in the first game. Not just like you look graphically, but like him actually riding a freaking missile through an office, which never happened in the original game. But yeah, they really changed some stuff in the cutscenes and things of that nature. But the game still looked great, and it was different. Like it is the first game, but it's different. So that it's not like, I mean, I know some people complain about it, saying like, the first game is just better, like just for artistic reasons or whatever. Which I mean, maybe it is, but I like both. Honestly, I mean, I like the first game. Metal Gear Solid 1 is my favorite one, the series. But I do like this game just because how zany it is, and it's still Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
I like Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2 are my favorite ones. Even though I know people say Snake Eater is better, and it probably is better. It's just that whatever it is left me. That by the time I got to Snake Eater, I didn't like the series
that's
as
what
much.
Happened now.
What happened? Puberty. Yeah, puberty happened. Yeah. The game came out when I was 19, I think, or something. So yeah,
Finally.
I was a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer, people. I was still under rules until that age. But it's but yeah. So yeah, when Metal Gear Solid 3 came out, I played through it, and I realized how it was a better game, but I didn't enjoy it like I enjoyed the first two games.
Yeah.
For some reason. And I played it again years later when it was like HD collection. Still didn't enjoy it like I did the first two games. I was still like, I enjoy those first two games more, even though this is the better. I mean, you would call this a better game, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about those games. I mean, maybe because there wasn't enough change for me. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's like if this was the second game I played, maybe this was number 2. Like because this is canonically, technically that 3 takes place before 1 and 2.
Right.
But let's just say like Metal Gear Solid 1, and then they did the flashback with Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 2 to Metal Gear Solid 3. You know what? I think I would have loved that game.
Yeah.
I think it's just that because I played these 2 games, I think that was enough for me in the Metal Gear Solid series. I think that's what it was. Because then when it got to 4, don't get me started on that one. Like I just realized I wasn't playing the fucking game.
Yeah.
It really like those cutscenes were long as hell. And the gameplay, I just didn't play like I guess you were supposed to play it as, and I just kind of fell out of love with the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of fell in love with the series, and I just wasn't into it. Like, Metal Gear Solid was my favorite. Like, I thought it was going to be my favorite franchise. Like, basically playing 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And ended up being that, man.
Yeah.
All right.
It's kind of crazy, like, looking back at this, like, how kind of cursed this game is now. Because, like, it was developed by Dennis Dyack and the boys at Silicon Knights, you know? So I wonder if that has anything to do with why we haven't seen that game come back out anywhere else. You know, I don't know who owns it. I mean, I would imagine most of the ownership is under Konami, but because there are so many other parties involved, Nintendo and Silicon Knights, even though I don't know that they exist anymore, so I don't know whose share of the ownership that would revert to if it would go just to Konami or whatever. But yeah, it seems kind of fraught to. Plus, of course, the whole Kojima thing. So. I wonder if we could ever see something like this be re-released. Yeah.
Though I think the Kojima thing, I think that's whatever. They say hey, we own a franchise. And
yeah. I mean, they just take Kojima's name off of it, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah, I think, it's got to be maybe some ties of Nintendo's like, nah, we don't want...
Bring it to the Switch or nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, like just bring it to the Switch then. Put it on the next console's virtual console or whatever. Just at least do that.
It doesn't even make sense that I even said that, but it does. Oh, okay. It's like, all right. So that's it, man. It was really much came out, but those are 2 pretty big games. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news. And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. Warner Brothers is out on Multiverse, or out on Twitter, teasing the return of Multiversus. It sounds like at the time of this recording, the following Monday, which will be the 11th, I believe, there may be some announcement towards the revitalization of that game. Or maybe just the death of it. they're gonna have a live show just to be like, yeah, and also we're killing this game because we're Warner Brothers. Are you excited about the potential return of Multiversus? Like, you played it a bit.
Yeah, I'm somewhat excited. You have that option.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was an alright game, and since Nintendo, they pretty much done a game with new characters. They're still supporting the game. I think they still have like those special event stuff that happens. Like I forgot what they called those, because I ain't played the game in so long. I don't know, they're cards or tokens or whatever. Like you get like, hey, this week is a special like Donkey Kong something, and then you get these special items you can give to like your Mii's or something like that. I think they still have that stuff going on.
Yeah.
But but just have another game. I mean, I know Nickelodeon had that part 2.
Yep.
Brawlers.
Yeah.
But this is Multiverse. It has all these WB characters, and then these like the movie properties and things of that nature. Yeah, it's so crazy, like what the kind of characters they have in there. Even the ones that's not really kid friendly characters in there, like from Game of Thrones. So,
Yeah.
I think that's it's pretty cool to have this game happen.
Definitely.
And maybe it is good to be free to play. I mean, look, I know we talk about like, hey, the microtransaction stuff, but I'm like, it's going to be microtransactions in there regardless.
Right.
If they make us pay for it. So I'd rather for it to be free to play, and at least I have that, and not me pay $70 and still be doing what free to play games do.
Yeah.
That's where I get mad at now. Is that I'm saying, like, you know what, free to play games, at least they're free to get in. Like, I paid $70 for this shit.
Exactly. And hopefully with a free to play model, you have a larger audience there, you know, and
definitely.
the game can find more success.
You will have that.
So, absolutely. You spoke about it in the Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2. That game is going to get an Xbox bundle.
Something's called Brawlers. Oh, that was Smash Brothers. No, that was Brawl.
What's that?
Well, I just made that up then.
What? What'd you make up?
No, I called it. Oh, because you were talking, you didn't hear me. I said I had called it Brawlers. I was saying I called it Brawlers.
Gotcha.
I was saying like
No, that's the fighting game with The Rock. He's an agent, and then he fights people for some reason. It's like Ballers. Yeah, so that's getting an Xbox bundle with a special SpongeBob Series X, which I feel like is like one of the first official, repaints of that system outside of like the Starfield one. So it's kind of surprising. It looks like SpongeBob. So if you're a SpongeBob fan, it's only $700, which is...
Oh, 700.
Yeah, pretty rough considering.
How much was that Bluey one?
Some of the prices.
The Bluey one, you only can win it.
Yeah, the Bluey one you could only win, which sucks because I don't know that would have motivated me to buy an Xbox Series X.
It would have been $700, dang.
It probably would have. But especially considering some of the prices you see on Xbox Series X's nowadays, like $700 feels insane to me. It
is. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it looks like SpongeBob, but does it talk? Does it talk like SpongeBob too?
I'd be interested because when they did the Taco Bell Xbox, it did play the Taco Bell Gong. So I'd wonder if the startup sound is, they did the same thing with the Halo Xbox. I'd wonder if it's SpongeBob laugh or something like that when it boots up, which is cute. It says,
wait, hit it. Are you ready, kids?
Exactly.
You turn it on.
But also, they have those skins now. Why don't they do a similar thing to what the PlayStation has done with their side plates before absolutely obliterating that business by changing the design of those consoles and just release this as one of those wraparound skins and release the Bluey one as a wraparound skin,
Yeah.
I don't understand why these companies make these accessories and then don't try and use them. I mean, obviously $700 for a SpongeBob Xbox is going to afford you more profit than a $30 skin or whatever it is. But I would imagine a $30 skin you would sell a lot more of. So, because really once these Xboxes sell through with these SpongeBobs on them, then the only people profiting are the people who bought them just to sell them and flip them, It's not like Microsoft gets a cut of that. So, all right.
You up here.
All right. I'm back, I guess, because I disappeared there for a second.
Back.
All right. Next up, this one was going to be the follow-up to the other Warner Brothers stories, but then you mentioned that the SpongeBob game, so I was like, oh, that's a good place to put that. Warner Brothers Discovery has shut down Rooster Teeth. Obviously, creators of Red vs. Blue originally, and then became a huge kind of media conglomerate themselves. And it sounds like for the longest time they were trying to sell them off and basically had no takers at the price that they wanted. So they decided to shutter them.
What? So Rooster Teeth is right now.
Dead. Yep.
I mean, it was what, a couple years ago with the whole they had the layoffs.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah, they had the mass layoffs like some few years ago, and I remember there was some controversy behind that. And darn. Yeah, because okay, so Warner Brothers owned them. Now it makes sense why there was a RWBY.
Oh yeah,
like Cross Justice League or something like that.
Right.
Well, what is it called? Ruby?
I think it's Ruby.
Yeah, because I was thinking I was thinking it stand for something because I was like, what's RWBY stand for? Because I did watch a couple of their early stuff they had done on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, now I think it's more production. I mean, hell, it got popular. Better production behind it, but yeah, that is, man. This is why you always stay small, Dan. You don't grow big.
That's why we're small, Dominic. That's why we're small. Yeah,
but yeah, because it's just what they were. I just remember seeing those red versus blues. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went too close to the sun. They got too. It's like they got real big. They started like being like those videos started looking better and stuff. But then I start saying like, hey, we're doing this other productions. I say, oh, I mean, I wasn't into that, but hey, you know what? Go ahead. And apparently it was popular enough that Warner Brothers bought them. But you know what? The world changed because like, who else was doing like videos like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like back then. Now it has changed. Like everybody's doing them, man.
Yep.
Like everybody. There's so many things out there. Like you have to be doing something bigger. And I don't know what they were doing now. Like I haven't paid attention. So I know my nephew when he was younger, he was looking at red versus blue stuff. I remember Rooster Teeth stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a good 10 years ago. Now, I mean,
yeah.
it's
yeah, so along with this, it also sounds like they've been trying to sell Adult Swim games for a while and have also seemingly failed to find a buyer there. So now there are rumors that is going to get closed.
Oh, man.
Probably by May of this year.
Adult Swim Games, they produced a couple bangers.
Yeah. Volgor the Viking, Duck Game. There's another one that I keep forgetting about. Headlander, Double Fine.
What's the one
games.
the one you were like in first person is kind of, it's funny, and I played it, but I think Giant Bomb played it because that's where you saw it from. And I played it because I think we talked about the game recently. We talked about that game recently because either it came out or.
Trying to find did the Harvey Birdman game. I forgot that was a game. Rainbow, Volgor, Jazz Punk is the one you're thinking of.
Jazz Punk,
yeah,
yes.
I did Jazz Punk. Yep. Yeah, so that's really unfortunate. It seems to be kind of the way things are going. Anybody that's even tangentially related to Warner Brothers is kind of getting decimated at this point. And of course the games industry as a whole is not doing well. I wish the best to any of those people that may be affected if that comes to pass. And I didn't have it here, but it's kind of related. Warner Brothers, a best-selling game of last year being the Hogwarts Legacy game, and this year pretty much falling flat on their face with Suicide Squad. It sounds like maybe the direction that they are going is to want to make more live service games because that makes sense. What do you think, Dominic? Like, how can you look at the success? I get that I'm sure they pumped a lot of money into Hogwarts Legacy, but they probably didn't put that much less into the years and years of development of of Suicide Squad. So, what are they
Yeah.
thinking here? Does it make any
I don't know.
sense?
I don't know. They're greater minds than us, Daniel,
Clearly,
because
I
they
mean,
have more money.
I was gonna say because they
They're
get
better
paid
than us.
billions and trillions more than we do. So,
Yeah, but it's like I have no as I say, I have no idea what they see, what they're seeing.
yeah,
I mean, because I'm thinking like you need to change strategies here, but maybe that's what it is. It's like we get one of these to stick. We made out.
yeah, I guess.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, because once they sold those Hogwarts Legacies, there's not really much. Even though I think there's been an announcement that there's going to be some more content, but even then, it's not the same as selling, stuff that you would have in a live service game, skins and
Live service. Yeah,
guns
exactly.
and all that stuff. So, look, man, everybody can't be Fortnite, and I think that's what these companies need to realize, and none of them are willing to accept that right now. And I say that,
Because
and obviously
maybe
somebody's going to take over Fortnite's spot eventually, and then everybody's going to look at it as like, well, see, if we didn't try, we would have never done it. So, like,
yeah,
I guess
that's what they're trying. I think that's what the company's looking at. It's like, hey, they did something, bam, it's bigger than Fortnite now. I mean, because like that's what Fortnite took over wherever the hell was bigger at the time, and they just took over it. So I guess they're hoping that they'll become that thing that will be the next big thing. And yeah, I don't know that. It's like, and it sucks because it just ruins. I feel like it ruins other games because of that.
Absolutely.
Because you try and go after that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, Dominic, in some more positive news, we got Ghost of Tsushima that is finally coming to the PC on May 6th, and it's going to have all the nice PC goodies that Sony games have had recently, ultra-wide support and things of that nature. It will also include the DLC stuff that had come out for it. So that's cool.
That's a deal breaker for some people, Daniel.
Ultra-wide monitor support?
Yeah.
Yeah? Really?
I think it only should be deal breakers for people who have it. No, but like it's just I was like, man, must be a lot of people that have it then, or maybe they just the ones on the internet. Because like I'd be looking at, I think it was a game and somebody said a bad review. So this doesn't have ultra wide support, and I'm like, oh, I don't give a shit. It's like, is that why you don't like it? It's because of that. It's not. It's like is. I guess I need to know if it's just a good game or not. I forgot what game was it I was looking at a review of. But yeah, because I see that sometimes in things that like, oh, this don't have ultra wide support or something like that, and they be disappointed or angry about it. And I'm just thinking like, I mean that sucks if you bought one, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that's just I mean, no offenses. It is a personal problem. I mean, it's a person, but not everybody has those ultra wide monitors. And the thing is, I don't want one. I mean, I know you like it. I don't.
The idea
of
it, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see the appeal of it.
Yeah, I can definitely see like. For me, I'm used to having two monitors now because of work and at home I've had two for a while, one being much smaller though. I just like having the ability to like put one thing over there and the other thing over there. I don't necessarily know that I need that full real estate for a single game. Like I like the idea of having the space of two monitors without the bezel in between, but at the same time, I think that works as a nice like fenced off area to like, here, I'm going to put this over here, because then I can put like a YouTube video over there while I'm watching a game. I don't know that I would get that much out of like, hey, I'm swinging around in Spider-Man, but now I've got a whole bunch of buildings on either side of me because I can see everything around me. Yeah, I don't know that that's necessarily, something that I demand. Although if I did have that monitor, I would obviously definitely want those games to support it, whether I use it or not. So
yeah, and that's where it is. Is like for a game, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like for me to turn my head like that. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I just want a bigger screen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I need a longer screen.
Yeah. Yeah, because you still basically have to sit the same distance from it, whereas a larger screen you would theoretically be sitting further back, so you see more of the thing. Whereas like the wider screen, it's like, okay, I'm just seeing like the periphery anyway. Like, why does it matter? It could just be a blurry color, really. I mean, I wonder if there's a level of immersion, like it's a step below like VR, but it's better than just maybe a wide
that's
screen,
what it is. But I just don't like how skinny it is. Honestly, I don't like how skinny. Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying.
That's what our parents said when we moved to widescreens too, Dominic. You're just getting old.
Yeah, I wanted wide, not slim,
not super wide. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like it's slim too. But what? And how much it costs?
Like a really nice ultra wide one. If you're looking at like the Samsung Odyssey, but I think those are also OLEDs. It's like $1,000.
Yeah,
like 900.
That just turns me off right there. So I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah, you can get cheaper ones, but obviously they're not the same quality as the top tier, I think, right now, which is that Odyssey. All right, Dominic, the Helldivers, a couple of the Helldivers developers have gotten in a little bit of a hot water following some negative reactions to their latest update, where fans have basically said they've nerfed some of the things that they've been doing in the game and some of the meta. So there were some comments from some of the developers on like Discord and Twitter, basically, calling them crybabies, essentially, not quoting them, but that's the general gist. So the CEO had to come out and basically say like, I'm a little disappointed in them addressing things this way. Although I do want my developers to be able to, communicate with our community, because we're a community-based developer. But, maybe they've taken it a little too far here. And it's like, you know what, Dominic? Good on those developers for striking back at these people. They're whiny crybabies, and they should be told so. It's about time someone said they could.
As a company, it looks bad.
Yeah.
Even though I might agree. Even though I don't know I don't know if those. I'm not saying those people aren't right to voice their disappointment.
Yeah.
If they feel like something's changed, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to say like, "Hey," because that's how things get changed. You say like what you say, like, "Oh, I don't like this," but you know how people are on the internet, Daniel. They're assholes, and so it comes off as a way. So you react in a certain way, and to that, and I get it, and that's why, because I feel like some people will say like, well, people were just voicing their stuff. I say, yeah, listen, look, I didn't read those comments, but I'm willing to bet there's some snarky ass people, who were saying shit.
Exactly.
And like this ain't nobody's first time on the internet here. So let's not pretend like this was like, oh, they were just like saying their disappointment, and they were communicating in a well-mannered way.
Constructive criticism, obviously.
Yeah. And that's what people always say. Like, yeah, you're just mad constructive criticism. That's like, dude, come on, man. And it's like, what what a person's trying to do. Like, when you can tell when somebody's being a smart ass or being like, it's like, don't. I hate when people play those games. Like, because then it's like we can't have a real conversation. They say we can't. It's like it's just done. But yeah, so yeah, but then there's if you're working for a company, like you're part of a big company. I mean, just like anywhere, like these are basically the customers. You just got to respect. Like, you just can't, even though they're not treating with you respect. You know what? You just gotta look at it and just read what they say as smart ass, but then think of it as a way, in a nice way. They ask and saying what is wrong. Like, look to see what are they saying they feel like is wrong, or explain why that you did why you did this. That's all you have to do is explain, like, this is why we changed this and blah, blah, blah.
And then they'll call you gay or something.
That's why,
and then, you can treat them like internet people.
But see, and that's why they have communications people, which the guy did. Who apologized when the developers who did apologize said, look, he's not going to do this anymore. He thought it would be fun to
troll these guys, basically,
with people and stuff. Yeah, he didn't say troll, but he said, but they said they do have people with communications for this. They said the job. He said, but my fellow employees and stuff said there are people who are here to do this, and yeah, that's why companies do get those guys. So those guys, they'll see all that stuff, but they'll still react in a well-mannered way, and they'll construct what this smartass said and just read between the lines of what they're saying as like, okay, this is what you feel we did wrong, and I'm going to tell you why we did this and blah 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 whatever. But yeah, it's I mean, that's, I don't know. I was trying to see some of the comments up there. I saw a few of them. The developer said it didn't seem as like that bad to me.
Mm-hmm.
From what I read.
I didn't see anything too bad.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, you didn't either. Okay, I was just making sure. Like, okay, I didn't see anything too bad. I was thinking like someone like called somebody a name or something, but I was like, yeah. So I was like, oh, it didn't seem that bad. But hey, anything like against
the customer's always right, Dominic.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're probably either, I don't know what these customers are. They could be grown ass men or little bitchy kids, but hey, it's all the internet and stuff. So
either way, they're gonna get shut down.
And then everybody else but the thing is, everybody else runs with it. They all run with it when they see that, and then they post these guys comments. Hey, they said this to this guy.
Yep.
These developers don't care. They don't care what
they
we
just
think.
want our money. How dare them?
Yeah,
you've sold 5 million and they treat me like this. Yeah. All right. Speaking of developers crying about stuff, Dominic, the head designer, I believe it is, was interviewed by the Washington Post of Final Fantasy Rebirth, and he was basically on there saying like, "Oh, we would have never been able to make this same game if it had to be multi-platform," and that's just silly. I mean, the reality of it is, yes, with the same budget, you would not be able to make the same game. But you shouldn't be given the same budget if you are making basically a game and a half, I guess, or a game and a quarter. The reality is make your game that you need to make and focus on whatever platform you need to focus on, and then have, one of these port studios help you out with the work needed to get it onto a different system. That's how I see that working out. One of the other standout things of this article, I was telling you about it, they talk about how like the speedy development is due to employee retention, and that more than 80% of the development team from remake stayed on for the sequel. And like, to me, that just speaks volumes about the game industry, that like a company as big as Square Enix, you will only have 80% of the people being carried over to the sequel that pretty much must have had development start immediately following the release of the first game, or even working in conjunction. Like, it's only been 4 years, and for a game that seems as big as Rebirth is, that seems like nothing in this day and age with the production value that they have with that game. It almost seems kind of laughable that, you somehow lost 20% of your staff in that time. And obviously there's like, with video games, it seems like there's kind of ebbs and flows, right? Like,
there's only 10 people, Daniel, and lost 2 guys. So I think that's pretty good.
Maybe that's what it was. Wow. This is quite impressive for a 10-person studio. But like, obviously early on you have your art designers and whatnot, and then it picks up with, actual programmers and stuff like that. So I guess there's some level of that, but just it seems so weird that's something to heap praise on, that we were able to keep 80% of the staff around to make the direct sequel to the game that we literally just made 4 years ago, or just released 4 years ago, I should say, because obviously they've been working on it. Probably been working on this game ever since that game released. So I don't know, Dominic. What do you think? Like, obviously, it makes very little sense that, they couldn't have released this game on the Xbox or even the PC for that matter.
They could have got it on the Switch, Daniel. Stop.
Streaming. You get a streaming version, Dominic.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yes. I was telling you about the article, and I was trying to look at it away. Like, say, okay, maybe this is a communications breakdown, like some interpreter wrong, like I'm interpreting because he's Japanese, so maybe he said it a different way. But after reading the article, and like really going through, because first I was reading the comments before I got to the article to see this, because first it was like, oh, it's a paywall, and then I had to go find that site where I can get past paywall and look at the article.
Yeah.
Then like the people were saying the same thing as you were saying, basically, and then some people said, y'all didn't read the article, you would understand what she's saying. That was like, okay, let me go read the article then, because apparently I'm interpreting it wrong too then. And I didn't read the article. So I went to Reddit and I was like, I don't know what I interpret wrong. I don't know what they interpret wrong, because based on reading the article, I still feel the same way. Because people are saying that he's saying that the developer is saying that, look, because he gets to focus on PlayStation, and that they have all the resources they need to just work on this one system. They can do a streaming world. If they had multiple, they had to work on multiple systems, they couldn't afford to, and they would have to. They couldn't be a streaming world. Like, it could have been a world like a seamless world. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I think like that, but that doesn't make sense to me. And people, and then some people, like, they were saying that, like, people who were saying, just like me, saying, how does it make sense? They saying, like, how would you know you're not a developer or something? But I'm just going by, like, okay, I go by past games.
I'm a business major.
Yeah. They say, like, I seen, okay, why? So how Rockstar do it then? Like, how do they do those worlds?
They put more money and resources into it. Weird, right?
Exactly. And that's what you're saying. Yes, the budget would be bigger. If they were doing a game based on had to work on a PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, the budget would be bigger.
Absolutely.
Like you said. So what you're saying doesn't make sense. They can do it. I think he worded it wrong, or maybe he wanted to word it that way. Maybe it's just to say, hey, like, these are the guys that gave us money, I'm going to give them some praise, and say, like what people used to say, only the power of this console can do this, and blah, blah, blah.
I think it's definitely the business dance, right? It's like, Sony gave us this money, obviously, like, not having that money and then also having to increase our budget to account for all these, we would have to, make a smaller game or sacrifices here and there. And like, yes, that makes sense, but don't play it off like it couldn't have happened. There's a way for it to happen. You would have just needed more money. And, to argue that one of the biggest studios in the world doesn't have the money or resources to pull it off is kind of laughable.
Yeah, that just tells me the state of, like you say, the state of the game is like, wait a minute, y'all, like, why are y'all in trouble? Is this still like
Tomb Raider didn't make us enough money? That's why, Dominic.
No, but I'm just thinking about back in the day with Square Enix, and I don't think there was Square Enix yet. I think it was still SquareSoft when they did the movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the first one.
The Final Fantasy movie, and how that really hurt them. Yes, that really, it hurt them.
They're still paying for that, yeah.
I want to know if that, because I'm like, did they never recover from that? Because it seems like every time I think they're good, they're like, oh, they I think maybe they're back. Maybe they're all right. They did merger with Square Enix. Maybe they're all right now. But then something comes up. It's big, because then they bought Eidos in them and IO Interactive, and I'm like, oh god, they got these Western developers part of them now. Shucks, they're huge now.
Yeah.
I'm like, did what happened? Like, why is it that this that you need? Like, now I'm almost thinking, like, is it so much Sony? Yeah, Sony gave them a lot of money to stay exclusive, but almost to the point that they needed that.
Right. Yeah, it almost feels like it, much in a way that I think Capcom did a few years ago, where it was like, yeah, why do they need so much support from Sony? They must be in a bad way. And I don't know, like, even with as big as Square seemed like it was with those acquisitions of like Odd House and whatnot, I still feel like they were always kind of the target of speculation of who's gonna purchase them. You know, like they've always been the small enough company, if that makes sense, where it's like, yeah, Microsoft could just pick them up one day, or Sony could just pick them up one day. Whereas, like, not the same case with like a Capcom, for instance.
Yeah, I guess so. I thought at some point I have no idea what these guys make, so yeah, I just go by this popularity. Like when Capcom kind of fell back a little bit, and I was like, darn, like I thought Square was like kind of above them. But yeah, so I'm like, I have no idea, and like, what's going on with them. But yeah, that's just. But yeah, that whole comment, I definitely don't agree with. About them, like, yeah, this is just something just to say that, like, look, hey, we work good with our partners and blah blah blah. Yeah, that's all that is.
It is still shocking that the remake has not come out on the Xbox. And I mean, I guess to an extent, you look at like the speculation around Xbox going third party, and it's like, well, as long as it's available on the PC, it kind of is what it is. But I guess one step further than that, like, I would be intrigued to see remake come to Xbox Game Pass PC before it comes to the PC, you know. And
kind of like Death Stranding. Like Death Stranding can only be on and the not even the special edition Death Stranding.
Yeah, we wouldn't see integrated
the director's cut.
PC, yeah.
The director's cut. I mean, yeah, but it's just the regular Death Strandings on the Xbox PC, but it's you can't get it on the console. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
With that said, I will say I'm still glad that like Sony does not own Square Enix.
Yeah. Yeah, because I wonder, like, because now is it really? Well, like I said before, is it the money? Because I didn't finish my thought. I kind of run on. Is it really that they offer money to Square Enix like they really need it, or they offer so much money that Square Enix couldn't say no? Like if they offered the same amount of money to Square Enix to like EA for a game, would that be enough? That's what I really want to know. Like if they offered the same money for them to put, like, would that be enough, or is it more like I'm curious about how much money they gave to Square Enix? Because I'm like, is it that they really need that money, or it was just so much money? I don't know.
Yeah, you can't turn down that offer, basically.
Yeah. Or it's like EA or somebody or Activision, because they could turn it down because they're like, nah, that's not going to be good for us.
Yeah,
like we can do without it. While Square Enix, they couldn't. I wonder if that's the case.
I guess I wonder what the other aspect of it is like. Do they see projections of Xbox sales to be worth the effort? Like Final Fantasy didn't come out on the Xbox, right? The latest one?
No, not the latest one, but the 15 did.
15. Which one was 15? That was the driving one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the sales were like for that one versus...
Yeah, because some people were saying the sales were... This is like how many 15 did, and it only sold 1 million on Xbox. And they're saying, will it be worth it to the port to that over?
Yeah.
but I'm like, I don't know how much it costs to port. Like, how much it costs to port a game? Because it may be. I have no idea.
And honestly, you would think if you're Microsoft, you have kind of people in the chamber to be like, okay, whatever you need as far as resources go, we will help you out to bring this to my console to make sure that we don't look like we're somehow, missing out,
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's what I feel like. Yeah, that they still bring it over. Yeah, it's sold less, but I don't know. And then I wonder how much did Final Fantasy 13? So because you gotta look at it, Xbox One was, it wasn't as many consoles, of course. So of course it was going to sell less. But I guess people are saying like, hey, but even that less is a lot less. But I'm like, I don't know. Like I really want to know, is that really sales that they just like they felt like it wasn't worth it? Is that really was the case? Because I just have a feeling that wasn't it. I mean, I just thinking that the money, not that it's not worth it, but the money that PlayStation offered almost covers it. They feel that it was close. It was close to covering it.
Yeah.
That like even though, they would have got more money, but the PlayStation deal maybe that covered it. I don't know. I wish you can hear those. See, movies and stuff. You seem like you hear those deals, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the numbers. There's a little more transparency.
Yeah, or put it like this: in Europe, in the Western world, it seems like we see those numbers. It's somehow Japanese, man, they be able to hide stuff. Need some spies over there. It's gotta be some Japanese spy man's willing to sell out the company.
There's not a single one, Dominic. Nope. They know what happens if they do. All right, Dominic. Speaking of Microsoft, they had a partner preview this week, which included kind of a developer direct kind of thing, but with third-party developers. They had quite a few games here, a list of them. I think we'll stop on some of the more prominent ones. If there's anything that you feel like, let me know. First up was Unknown 9 Awakening. This is a game that we had previously seen just like a CG trailer for, of like a young Indian girl with a power bracelet or something like that. They showed a little bit more here, some gameplay. I also saw.
It's funny you say girl. The actress who plays her is a woman because she's in Witcher.
Okay. Yeah, well, in the first trailer, it's like it's an actual little girl. In the original.
Oh,
trailer.
It is. Oh, yeah. It is. Oh, so they make her grow up.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, what we see in like this preview is an older woman. And they show off some of the kind of powers she can do. It seems like you can like possess people. IGN had an extended, like a little bit longer kind of preview of the game. And it seems kind of cool because what you can do is like inhabit these people's bodies and then take an action. Like you can inhabit this sniper up on the roof and then you can shoot at one of the other bad guys. And then you can go back to your body and it all kind of plays out as one seamless type thing. So it's almost like this strategy element to it, which is really cool.
Yeah, look cool.
Yeah. And you also have
I just hope it doesn't.
Sorry.
I just hope it doesn't turn to a Forsaken.
Yeah. You also have just kind of like general Force-esque powers of pulling people off ledges and stuff. And you can do stealth. That's coming out summer 2024. After that was Sleight of Hand. This was just kind of a trailer. It didn't show any gameplay. It was this woman with like a deck of cards, and it almost seemed like she was Gambit or something like that. Some kind of, powers with it. But it sounds like it's going to be a third-person stealth game, and that's going to be on Game Pass. So I wonder
it's Sabotage
what that
2.
actually is. I just saw somebody posting about how like Saboteur is now out on Steam again.
Saboteur.
For the first time in like 10 years or something like that. So that's pretty wild. After that was The Altars.
That was me, Daniel.
That was you? Okay. You excited that it's back on there? You can paint the town with colors again. The Altars looks like a weird mix of Fallout Shelter and Death Stranding. Like there's this exploration element, and then there's this like very much base building element. But all of the characters appear to be like alternate reality versions of yourself that also have like different kind of characteristics and personalities.
I already like this game better than Death Stranding.
Because you love Fallout Shelter. I understand why.
Yeah.
This is also coming to Game Pass.
Or this is it this War of Mine, right? The guys that did.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that game.
Yeah, you did. And this War of Mine was like that too, like side view.
Yeah, it was. It was like Fallout Shelter. Yeah.
Thing, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Now that you say that,
there's a more complicated, version of that.
Yeah. So it definitely seems like you definitely have the pedigree there to do that. Next was Creatures of Ava. This is an interesting, like, very lightly cell shaded.
No, in that game, I hope they have a thing where you can make love with yourself.
Oh, Jesus. Is that just masturbation then, Dominic? Asking the real questions. Next up, Creatures of Ava.
People ask those questions.
I'm sure
there's forums for that. They have discussions.
This flat shaded looks very nice. You're this woman kind of leading these creatures around. I described it here as a more like civilized Pokemon because it's like instead of forcing them to get into this ball, they just follow you around and you give them tummy rubs, Dominic. So like
liberal Pokemon.
Liberal Pokemon, yes, exactly.
That's exactly what this is.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Woke Pokemon game.
Pokemon, they finally did it. They made Pokemon woke. All right, Dominic. Next up, Roblox, Griefville Cross Chucky. Chucky's going to be in Roblox.
Yeah, I thought this was the kids' game, Daniel. I was very confused.
No, Roblox is a mess of everything.
Yo, I thought this was a kids' game. I was like, because I was saying, look, this looked like Roblox, but I was like, but why is Chucky in here? It's like man. I'm like, oh, Roblox is definitely not Minecraft, huh?
No. Although you can see some horrors in Minecraft too, I'm sure. So
yeah, but I mean, it's still very, kid friendly, like family friendly game. I mean, you talk. Yeah, this is weird. It's just weird. I guess that's the kind of game. I guess they said like, yeah, but it's gonna embrace it. Embrace. I mean, they started off like, yeah, we're making things for kids, but then say, oh, a bunch of pedophiles up here and stuff like this. Oh, fine, we just put anything up here then.
Yeah, it's turned into the pedophiles. Yep. All right, Dominic. Next up was The Sinking City 2. I honestly forgot that The Sinking City 1 had actually released, and I wasn't even sure that this was a new game or not. This is kind of the like Eldritch horror, Lovecraftian, thing. This was basically a CG trailer for
which
that.
I get confused with the game I played, which was kind of Lovecraftian, and it was in an old-timey place. And you were a vampire.
Oh, what was that game? Vampire. Was it just Vampire? Because wasn't there that one?
Yes. Yeah, it was Vampire with the Y. Is that what it is?
It might be, because it was from Don't Nod, right? The people who made Life is Strange?
I think so.
Like that's... thinking that one.
There's
maybe
a game. I gotta look it up. But you keep going.
All right. Next up.
Yes.
That was it.
VAMPYR.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Dominic, Final Fantasy 14 online. That's finally coming to Xbox. So get your online Final Fantasy on.
Yeah, and look up. I forgot the site. I want to give that guy credit too, but it's on one of these sites where they kind of, it's probably multiple sites. They explain what's the difference between getting the Game Pass free trial or the some other trial.
Okay.
There's two type of trials you can get here, and you can kind of combine two, like do one trial and the other, but you gotta do it. I think you have to do it in a certain order.
Oh, weird. Crazy.
Or I mean, because the trials are different. Like one trial you can only go up to. I think it's the regular trial that you do in Final Fantasy, with all platforms. Is that you have caps on certain things that you can do, and you can't use certain things because it's just a trial and they want you to buy the game. While in the Xbox trial, you can do anything within that trial.
Interesting.
I mean, I think except for like expansions, but you're open to do the other stuff. There's no cap on that stuff, so that's what they're saying. Like, hey, do that trial, do the free trial, then do the Xbox trial, so you have more time with the game. Which is not. I was kind of hoping it was on like the PC one had that
right.
The game, but I think it's just a console because I guess they just said, hey, you go ahead to Steam or Epic if you want to play. Which I'm thinking Microsoft would just have it on their storefront. Fucking, especially for me to get that. I just want to get that deal.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like,
so they're like, well, Final Fantasy Rebirth is out. Play Final Fantasy 14 instead. It's twice as good.
Yeah. I mean, it's the best-selling Final Fantasy game.
It is. That's pretty crazy. All right. Next up was Stalker, the original series or original trilogy that is coming out on basically everything, as I found out later.
Have you played any Stalker?
I did. I played the first game. I bought that when it came out, and I think pretty quickly realized that it was maybe above the level of thought that I wanted to do. Like it's a little more complicated than just shooty bang bang. So yeah.
Is it closer? I mean, is it like Metro?
Honestly, I don't have too much experience with Metro. I feel like Metro was more like story based. Like,
yeah, it has a
like
story.
Narrative heavy. But I do remember you talking about like having to deal with like filters and all that stuff in the first game, right?
Oh yeah. You had to deal with that stuff. Yeah,
so I think in a way, yeah, it has similarities to that. I'm trying to think of what game I would most closely compare this to.
I know it has that damn Ferris wheel that I seen in Call of Duty.
Yes, it is. It is very much, Chernobyl.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a Chernobyl light.
It's a Chernobyl. I was thinking that, but yeah. Yeah, I mean the next game is The Heart of Chernobyl. The original one was the something of Chernobyl. So
it looks scary, Daniel. I don't like how that monster just pop out of nowhere.
It is a scary game.
I want to anticipate them, Daniel. I don't want them to jump at me.
Nope, this is a jump scare game, Dominic. Unfortunately.
Oh God!
A game that is not a jump scare game, Dominic. Monster, even though it's got monsters in it. Monster Jam Showdown. This is a monster truck game, and it actually looks pretty cool.
Gravedigger.
Yeah, Gravedigger. It's got Megalodon, which is just a shark.
Yeah, I see that, man. I'm like, come on. Yeah.
They need to get the Slim Jim one in there. Didn't they have one of those, like the Macho Man one? It had arms. Get Medusa in there. Yeah. That game looks pretty good for what we usually see for Monster Jam games. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. If that showed up on Game Pass, I would maybe give it a shot. Next up, Persona 3 Reloaded. They talked about the expansion pass, which is going to, in September, add episode Aegis, which is the extra bit that people complained about this not having. So that was part of the plan the entire time, Dominic. They were just going to sell it to you later, which is
no. They quickly it wasn't Daniel. They quickly made it.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Got it.
When people complain about, say, "Oh, let us make this game within the weeks."
Once they realized how many copies they sold, they realized they had enough money to then make that game. Which is kind of funny because the rest of the expansion pass content is like, here's a thing that lets you play the background music, and here's 2 new costumes. It's like, it's very light as far as content goes.
It is very light, yeah.
Until they get to that actual additional material.
I mean, that's how that's how some of the extra stuff, I wouldn't call them expansions, and the original Persona was like, man. It was just like costumes and stuff, and I was like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Like, there's no story beat stuff, so I was like, I didn't even care about that. And the costumes, they were not all that great. It's like, out of some of the costumes, I just don't care to wear, man. I want to look, I don't know, some people, I mean, I like to have the choice, if you want to look silly or something, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
if you want to look sexy, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess that's cool too. But like, I just want more choice, because some of these things just look too out there. I was like, I don't want to play in this. It's like, nah. Like, I want something that I look like. I don't want to be in a damn school uniform. I know that, but can you give me some like normal clothes or something, man? If I can look cool, you know. You
don't want to just randomly be wearing weird swimsuits like in what was it, Trails that you were playing?
I definitely don't like the swimsuit stuff, man. That is that shit is just weird to me, man. It's like, you got these people wearing these skimpy bikinis just out here just fighting. And it's like, what we doing here? Especially the ones that look like little girls. Like in the game Trails. Yeah. You got they got the swimsuit costumes. You got like the ones that look like little girls in their bikini. I was just like, okay. Even though they said, oh no, I'm actually blah 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 this old.
I'm actually 10,000 years old.
Still underage, but I mean, even as if I was 16 years old, let's say I was 16, I would be like, oh, she's my age. But she got a body of a damn 12-year-old, man. I can't, come on, man. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I can't, I'm not into it. But you know what? Some people are, and
yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's say whatever.
Yep. All right, whatever. Dominic. Next up was the first Berserker Kazan.
Hold on. Before we go, I'll go, because this reminds me of a joke I seen on.
Boy.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was Frisky Dingo or C Lab 2021. It was one of the people who did Archer. Like, they went to this guy. This guy was pulling up his DVDs, and it was like all these like looked like Japanese like waifu stuff, and it was like this girl like doing this, and like little girl like there's some tentacles and girl, and then it's like one DVD said like Japan, what are you doing? That's what it said. It's Japan, what are you doing?
They know exactly what they're doing now.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Yes, the first Berserker Kazan. This reminds me of like Sekiro, but with a slightly cartoony kind of art style to it. I hope this is early in development, because man, what they showed of it, there was a lot of slowdown, and it didn't seem like it was just
Daniel,
the stream.
I thought my so it wasn't my.
No,
I thought it was my connection.
Nope.
I was like, oh.
Even when you look at it archived now, it runs like trash.
Yeah, it really does.
It is rough. I don't know that I would show my game in that state if that's the way it was, because man,
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Maybe
you could time your hits and stuff easy, and your blocks.
Yeah, no, that stood out as looking rough from all of the comments that I've seen.
Oh, but even the comment, yes, they wrote it.
It does seem pretty cool though. So like, if they can tighten that up, then it could be all right. Because it definitely has like a pretty distinct art style for what it is. All right.
Was Silksong in this partner thing?
No.
And that's why people are complaining in these comments on YouTube here.
I'm sure.
Yeah, somebody said, we don't want Silksong, we need Silksong. Yeah. Like, these people, man, they really want some Silksong, man. That's probably the developers.
Maybe. All right, next up was the Tales of Kinzera Zhao. This is the kind of African-themed Metroidvania that we had previously seen, I think, at the Keeleys last year. It was that one actor.
It is a Metroidvania.
Yeah, okay. It's a Metroidvania. And it's more Metroid than Vania, because it's like shooting, as opposed to a lot of the ones you see recently, which are more melee-based. So I'm very intrigued by this game. It has a very cool look to it, and Metroidvanias definitely.
You're more of a distance fighter. I understand.
What's that?
So you're more of like, you like to keep your distance in fighting. I understand.
Exactly. I'm a coward.
Yeah, pussy.
And that game's coming out soon. That's going to be April 23rd. of 2104, apparently, according to what I wrote here. 2024, of course. So that looked cool. Then we had Frostpunk 2. That's coming out July 24th. Wait
a minute. So they got 2 games
coming out? I was
going to
say, it's pretty cool kind of seeing, both of those games coming out here. Yeah, and Frostpunk is
the developers?
kind of city builder, but set in like an awful wasteland, basically. So you're managing resources of like, can I feed these people or give them heat? As opposed to like, where do I send this person's trash? And then the last game they showed was Kunitsu Gama.
Give them heat because they can eat each other.
So, man.
I heard babies taste the best.
Oh, okay.
That's what I heard.
All right. Path of the Goddess. This is the new Capcom game coming to Game Pass.
I guess it's like Veal.
One. It's kind of like what? Veal?
I guess it's like a Veal.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm a fan of Veal.
It said that it just like really just falls off the bone.
Melts in your mouth. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Dominic. So yeah, this Capcom game looks pretty cool. The art style kind of reminds me of Okami, like the way you see like all this like flowers and movement around you. But I had seen this headline basically hinting that, is Capcom trying to pull a Brutal Legend on us? And I believe exactly what I mean when I say that. Because, Double Fine very much sold Brutal Legend is like an action game. And then you play the game and you're like, this is like kind of an RTS. And like looking back at this trailer, I definitely noticed some moments.
Oh, yeah, because I see those little characters doing stuff.
Yeah. And it's at one point it even says, like, to their credit in the trailer, like, oh, direct these people to do this thing. And it really makes me wonder if it is going to be like that game, which, as it turns out, Brutal Legend wasn't bad because of that. It wasn't the game that I was expecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And still not maybe the way I would have wanted to play that necessarily, but it turned out fine. But to just see another game potentially kind of trying to skirt the
they really should skirt the Pikmin people and say like, hey, it's like Pikmin.
Exactly.
You got these different colored guys in their garments and stuff. Yep. Maybe they do different stuff.
There you go. See that's what they're messing up by that, not just admitting to it and calling it a Pikmin like. Yeah. So this game is definitely interesting, especially being a part of Game Pass. But yeah, like all of this like kind of strategy stuff that they do show in the trailer, but it's very light. Like they show all this cool action stuff.
Yeah, you see a lot of just him running, but And then they're like, "Hey, also build a village," and it's like, "Wait, what? What are you saying? Use resources to do what now?" Yeah. So go farm.
I'm intrigued to see what this ends up actually being. Strategically positioned fighters alongside the villagers. Like what are we doing here? But I don't do they have a date for this game yet? I didn't. Just 2024 right now. Oh no. Broadcast. Okay, they're doing additional stuff on March 7th, which is already passed. So yeah, it seems like maybe there's a longer preview out now, which maybe actually just lays out that that's what that game is. But yeah, it's interesting. I want to see what that is once it comes out to Game Pass, see how it plays. And that was the partner preview, Dominic. Was there anything that like really struck your fancy out of that?
Yeah, the latest trailer. Now that you're telling me about that, being maybe more strategy, that actually has some interest to me. I still interested in playing that though. Mm-hmm. So that game, Unknown 9 too. I just hope that turns out to be pretty a good game. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't know if that's a Game Pass game though. So
I didn't see it immediately.
Yeah, I think that's just but still, I hope that it turns out well. That it's just a good game that people get into. Of course, Tales of Kazera. definitely still interested in that. That's basically it. The Monster Jam was a surprise how good that game looks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that kind of just struck me, kind of came out of nowhere, and was like, oh yeah, that looks like that could be a lot of fun. So,
but yes, it's an okay show. It wasn't nothing that really blew me away or anything, but honestly, I didn't go in expectations expecting anything. To tell you the truth,
this kind of popped out of nowhere too. So yeah, I think this was nice for just like, oh, here's some of the games that are coming to our platform and also coming to.
Oh, but
Game
the biggest
Pass.
game is this War Mine. What the guys did, not
the Altars.
Yeah, the Altars. Yes, the Altars. Yes, I'm really curious about that game.
Yeah,
that'd be one of those sleeper hits, man. I'm hoping that the game I didn't expect to didn't see coming out this year and just becoming a game I really like.
Yeah, because it definitely looks like it has a lot of personality too. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right, Dominic, one last news story here. I don't think we're a fan of this on this podcast, but Nintendo has shut down Yuzu and Citra. There was basically a lawsuit, and part of the settlement was the company behind these two emulators, Yuzu being a Nintendo Switch emulator and Citra being a 3DS emulator, has to pay $2.4 million to Nintendo and also stop production and distribution of Yuzu and Citra as well. To me, there's a couple layers to this. One, it doesn't seem like the lawsuit was necessarily directed at them creating these emulators, which there's still sort of a legal gray area until someone does finally sue somebody and get some sort of judgment. It seems like Nintendo went after them basically because they were assisting in piracy. Yuzu, they had a Patreon, and behind that Patreon and in their Discord, it sounded like they were giving support to piracy, saying, here's how you get these games. Here's how, if you give us money, we will better support, the ability to run Tears of the Kingdom, for instance, things of that nature. Obviously, that is going to get you in a lot of hot water. The other layer to this is obviously Yuzu being a Switch emulator. That is a system that is currently on the market. They are trying to sell, and they were trying to sell games to. I get that. So that also maybe raises your visibility a little bit. My disconnect here is Citra. They've shut down the store for the 3DS. They're not selling this console anymore. They're not supporting your ability to get these games outside of the third-party market anyway. They're not making money off of this console anymore. Let that be. This is...
Yeah, exactly.
Not to kind of like... I don't know, give this more than it is and try and talk around the piracy aspect of it. But in a lot of ways, that's just doing preservation at this point, because you don't have other means for me to do that. I mean, outside, no more that Nintendo's going to, to profit off of, I guess. And don't sit here and tell me like, oh, Nintendo is trying to keep the integrity of GameStop, in selling you used copies of the 3D World or whatever, Mario 3D Land or the Ocarina of Time remake or remaster or whatever. That's not what they're doing here. I think in a lot of ways, Citra is just kind of a bystander, in the shutdown of Yuzu, and that's unfortunate. I'm sure, I believe the stuff was relatively open source, so I'm sure developers will continue work on both of these, split off some kind of thing of their own and work on there. But obviously a lawsuit like this would definitely scare a lot of people off. And I think that's also what Nintendo's going for here. The company behind this was an LLC, which means they could theoretically just go bankrupt and go off into the wind and never actually pay Nintendo this $2.4 million. But I think that's basically just a business lesson to everybody. If you're going to go down this road, don't do it under your own name. Do it with the protections of a limited liability corporation. That is what LLCs are for. So, there are multiple layers to this, and I hate to see it. Yuzu is not something that I've really, spent a lot of time using. I've definitely experimented with it. And like the results, I've talked personally about how the Switch hardware, it can't hold up to some of these games, and to be able to see Metroid Dread run at a native 1080p or a native 4K on a higher resolution screen is pretty cool. It's not necessarily the way I'm going to play it because, my system's not up to the ability to run that game at full speed. But I also bought that game twice, so I'm not going to sit here and cry for Nintendo losing, my money because I experimented with Yuzu one day. And obviously I'm kind of a outlier in that case. There are people using Yuzu to pirate these games, and that's unfortunate for Nintendo. It's a business. I don't really care one way or the other, as long as they're not, dying because of it. And I don't think that's
exactly,
the case.
Because they seem to be doing well.
Yeah.
Even
if it's
even
a
when
smaller
people
mom
doing
and pop shop kind of company and everybody's just, pirating their game and they'll never make money and they'll never be able to make another game because of it, that's unfortunate. But Nintendo,
and I know there's some people going to say well, that's hypocritical. It's stealing and stealing. Then I say, well, then I'm a hypocrite. I mean, we're all hypocrites in some kind of way. Let's not fool ourselves.
Sure.
You want to be that way.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I'm okay with people because I look at the sales on Nintendo and I'm like, man, okay, it sure ain't hurting them.
No. This is my protest to get them to use voice acting in their games. Yeah, so that's it. I think this is an unfortunate story all around to see very good work from these developers have to basically just be wiped off the face of the earth, even though that's not the reality of it. The internet exists, and as long as the internet exists, anything that is ever released to the internet will basically continue to exist. But I don't I don't like the big guy getting the win a lot of times. So what do you think, Dominic?
Yeah, I mean, Yuzu they kind of opened the door for that stuff.
Yeah.
Man. They kind of brought it on themselves. I'm not going to say anything about that. But with Citra, like you said, when you shut down basically everything that is on a console where I cannot even get it, I can pay for it, but you're not going to get any money from it. I'm getting it from a third party. That's the only way for me to get games. It's from a third party. And in some ways,
you see these games that are ridiculously priced because of that.
Yeah. So until you make it available where I can play those games, leave it up. Now, if you get to a point where you get to the something with the Switch where you start putting up DS games like crazy or something like that, then I get it. I'm like, Citra's about to be shut down then.
Absolutely.
But until that happens, leave them alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not hurting you at all.
We've talked about it
you're
before.
not being hurt at all. At all. There is not. It's not hurting you one bit right now.
Yeah.
One bit. And then you gotta look at the percentage of people who are doing it too. I'm sorry, most of the audience who are playing your games don't even know what the hell this is.
And the Switch is on its way to potentially be the biggest selling console ever. Like it's clearly not hurting your business in in that way.
They could have been ruling the world right now.
And yeah, to your point about like bringing this stuff out on the Switch, like obviously they have proven that they're only willing to go so far, and right now that's Game Boy Advanced. But you have the perfect system to emulate DS games, and along with that, if it has the power to do it, 3DS games. Because you take that screen, you turn it sideways, and then you have two screens, and it's a touch screen. Like they are failing, in my opinion, to not utilize that. If we go onto this next system and it doesn't have like a Switch type thing where you can take the controllers off, like, and we never utilize that concept in that way, I'm going to be so disappointed. This damn flip grip people stole my idea, Dominic. That's all I'm saying. This will be the last time I get to say it. Once the Switch 2 comes out, I'm going to stop saying it, maybe. Unless they release a flip grip 2 on the Switch. But yeah, I hate it. I hate them for it, Dominic. They could be selling so many games if they just had a virtual console.
It's bad. You still there?
And we're willing to do the work.
Yeah, I did.
All right, yeah, you back. All right. Yeah.
So I did hear it like, yep,
it did the same thing, yeah. I got the sound of death, the beep. All right. So that is the news, Dominic. Did you have anything else for the week?
Yes, the PlayStation closing one of their studios that never really put out anything.
Oh, jeez.
Deviation.
Oh, okay.
Or Deviation, how you pronounce that? The guys that they were people who worked on.
Didn't they just pick them up like not that long ago?
Yeah, like they were first. They did it. Are these guys that worked on Call of Duty? Some people.
I think it was guys that like split off. Yeah, former Call of Duty Black Ops veterans Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony formed the studio in 2020.
So people, when we first announced this, is that like, oh, Sony could be finally getting like some first person shooters thrown their way, like first party.
Yeah, especially since they're gonna lose Call of Duty in like 10 years or whatever it is.
Then I guess that maybe they figure that's enough, that they don't need them.
We don't need you right now. We'll get back to it.
But yeah, they shut. I just saw like they basically shut it down. I don't know if they moved the. I guess they moved the people to different places. I'm not sure. I didn't see the details because I just saw people tweeting about it.
Yeah,
I was thinking you was going to have the news. I just totally forgot about it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying now that this is like 4 hours ago is Games Radar. Goddamn Games Radar. Every time they are the first ones that come up. All right, gamesindustry.biz. They posted looks like 10 hours ago. Yeah, but they were like just on the stage with Jeff Keighley. Like, okay, that was 2021. That's longer ago than I thought it was. But if that's the case, it feels like they should be pretty far in development of the game that they were going to release. So
yeah, that's what some people were saying. It's like, man, they saw what they're working on. It was like this ain't it, and then shut them down.
That is, Jesus Christ, Sony. I don't know what they're doing. Like, none of these studios or companies or publishers, developers, whatever, it seems like have any look towards the future. And I know that's why everybody's like on the internet now, like the sentiment on Twitter is like the games are going to stop releasing or whatever. Like, that's not going to be the case. There are always going to be video games. I don't care what people say, but like, I kind of get it. Like, I kind of get where this sentiment is coming from, because it feels like in 5 years, we're going to start reaping what we sowed here. And that's going to be like no AAA titles coming out because of this decision made now. You're not going to have anything in a couple of years when these games would have released. It's wild. All right, Dominic, did you have any thoughts on that?
Is there any other news? Did I see any other news come up? I think that's it. I felt like there's something else I missed. Oh, Fortnite, yes.
Yeah,
Fortnite
season
is having
4 something,
a big
2
one
or
where
something.
they got like, did you see the trailer?
No, I didn't see the trailer for it.
Oh, well, look at the trailer real quick. I just added this.
So I think that just started yesterday, right?
Oh, I don't know when. You know what, Dan? I don't be honest with you. I ain't looking at dates. I just looked at the trailer and thought the trailer looked nice. That's all.
Mythical. Oh yeah, because they're doing like Greek god stuff.
And Korra from
cool.
Avatar.
And the fish guy from Fortnite. Yeah, I heard Wombat talking about it on Cheap Ass Gamer. Because I know you don't listen to it anymore, but Wombat is like super into Fortnite.
Oh no, but you told me that though.
Oh yeah, okay. Chapter 5, Season 2. Aphrodite.
Oh, NBA 2K24 coming in March 11th. Darn, you're gonna get basketball and baseball right at the same time.
Oh yeah, look at Korra.
Yeah, 'cause I think she ends up being a god at the end.
Spoilers. There is something so amusing about like seeing all this and then just seeing the key art of Zeus with a gun. Just like a regular human.
Oh yeah,
gun and an ammo belt.
Yeah, when I seen like one guy like he was. Oh, I think it was Hades. He was like doing some Hades with his chain thing or whatever. It's like, oh, that's awesome. He got his gun like. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but isn't Hades just dude from Overwatch? Like, it's maybe a little too close in design. I just want to say.
I see, and because when I saw Korra, I was thinking they were all based off things. Like, oh, I don't know where these other characters are from, but I guess they're from something that's similar to what a Greek god is.
Yes, the Odyssey, Dominic. It's also funny just like randomly seeing them building floors underneath things.
But so those are just skins, right?
Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah, it's all skins. But it does seem like they're adding, like they always do this with these big updates, is like adding a new element, because seems like there's
so I'm guessing
some
your
level
normal
of
person
flying
can use
here.
that element, right? Like they can use the Zeus thing in something. You don't have to be Zeus to do that.
Yeah, because they even show the pink-haired lady at the end of the trailer there.
That's what I was looking at. Her holding that thing. Yeah,
because when they did the same thing with Spider-Man, they had, like, oh, everybody can shoot webs now. It's like, okay.
Oh yeah, and just like I was, I did,
Goku, right?
I was on that the
Nimbus Cloud.
Nimbus Cloud, yeah.
So Fortnite continues to just be absolutely wild and bonkers, and I appreciate that, even though Epic is whatever Epic is. I guess there's that news too that company. Like Apple had banned their developer account.
Oh yeah, that was big news. Yeah,
and then unbanned it now because like it sounded like the EO was going to investigate, because it sounds like Epic is going to release basically the Epic Store on mobile so that they can try and get Fortnite back on iPhones. That's definitely going to be interesting. I want to see how that like actually plays out when things start to, once the ball starts rolling, I guess. But yeah, I do have to give them credit. Like they.
We gotta. I mean, we didn't really explain what we saw. We were kind of just talking.
Sorry.
I mean, what is this?
Basically, Fortnite is Chapter 5, Season 2, Myths and Mortals, and you got like Zeus and Hades and Poseidon and Aphrodite, I think. And yeah, it looks like they're adding some level of maybe flight to it, as well as supernatural powers. And also just guns, because Zeus with guns, Dominic, is pretty hot. So she just got this lady with angel wing. Like this is when you realize that like Overwatch was just basically this, right? Like they definitely took like mythology and mixed in some guns with it, because
Yeah.
all of these characters look like they would almost fit right in with Overwatch. So,
You know, I'm just amazed how Overwatch has dropped.
Oh, they destroyed that game with the release of 2. Like, it feels like they should have done. I know Among Us is kind of an example of it, because they were like working on Among Us 2, and then the popularity of Among Us increased. So they were like, oh, we're just going to stick with Among Us 1. But wasn't there a game that they actually released the 2 of, and it got like such poor reception that they were just like, we're going to keep working on 1, and sorry about that. And like almost Abe Simpson walked in with whatever the sequel was and then walked out. Like, oh, nope, never mind.
What game did that?
I'm trying to think. But it almost feels like they should have done that with Overwatch and been like, oh, no, sorry, guys. We didn't mean to do this. Here's all these Overwatch 2 characters in Overwatch 1.
Because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
And the things that changed seemed like people didn't like.
Yeah.
So, like, we really was thinking that we was getting like a big story, like a story mode and things added to that game. Man, turn. That's a game that could have been kept going. Like, they could have been. I mean, what Fortnite's doing now, Overwatch could have been doing it.
Phil Spencer could do the funniest thing right now, Dominic. Just announce that we're going back to Overwatch 1. Everything is getting reverted. I'm fixing this. He can just say that, Dominic. So. All right, Dominic, you ready to get into new releases here?
Yes.
All right. We got new releases. Expeditions, a mud runner game. That is the dirty truck pull it out of the mud simulator. That's out on everything, including Switch, which I was kind of surprised by. It doesn't seem like a game that would necessarily run that well there. We also have As Dusk Falls.
Mud. Yeah, too much mud physics.
Too much mud physics, exactly. That's now out on PS4 and PS5. You never ended up finishing that game, right?
I never finished it. Yeah. You just reminded me, and I'm mad. But yeah, that's such a good story game, like point and click game that it's so much better than what and it's so much better than what the what's the game called not Until Dawn
Dusk.
the H, give me the H, came out on PlayStation 3.
H.
Came out on PlayStation 3.
I'm just blanking.
Oh my god. The guy that people don't like now.
Oh, okay.
He did Detroit. He did a Detroit game.
Yeah. Heavy Rain?
What was
Heavy Rain? Yeah.
Heavy Rain, yeah. As I was saying, give it an H. I totally forgot. Yeah. It's like it's so much better than Heavy, like, even though Heavy Rain's production value is through the roof, probably compared to this game. This game got some. I mean, they got some actors in here too, man. But that just the way it plays out, man, and like the choices you make, and like it's not like graphically like a graphic horror type of game or anything. It's like it's an arts, like it's kind of painted style art. But I think it works well, and it's just so good. The story's so good. I mean, the story, I guess if this was like a movie, it would be kind of basic, but this is that the choices you make and the significance of those choices that will happen and what you don't know. And then they even show an outline of what a map of what could happen and things of that nature. Or like, if you went this way, I'm like, oh my God, that's like, this game is just huge, really. I just think it's a great job. Like, and this was like a phone game, right? Or an iPad game or something. No. I think that's what it initially was made for, because that's what kind of the setup for it feels that way.
Makes some sense.
Because they show like swipe this way when I'm up here, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I got a controller. I think
streaming,
for a phone,
Dominic,
that definitely fits.
Yeah,
like that is great. Like, this is a great game for the phone. Like, I would love more games to be like that on the phone. Like I will play them because that's like, man, that's just made for it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I really enjoyed what I played in that game, and I'm glad it's gone. Yeah, I'm glad it's on PS4, PS5. Yeah, because I was curious. I was like, darn, is this the own studio Microsoft? I'm surprised they got it exclusive. I guess maybe they paid them or something. But yeah, out there, it could be on the Switch. Is it on the Switch already?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, I'm surprised it's on the Switch. Definitely good for the Switch. The guy actually got a touchscreen and everything.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess that's the word Switch is not a good idea because you switch characters in that game. Let's see. Is it on the Switch? No, for now. Okay. Yeah. So no, it is not.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have Unicorn Overlord. That is the strategy game, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
PS4,
it looks like Dragon's
PS5,
Crown.
Xbox Series X. I find that kind of funny, Dominic, that it's coming out on the PS4, but it's not coming out on the Xbox One.
Oh yeah, here's what the internet told me, Daniel, when I typed those words in.
Okay.
The people on the internet have told me that because it's not worth it for Xbox One because they're not going to get that many sales on it. There's still a lot of people with PS4s because PS4 sold a lot, so they're going to get money from that, and that's why it's not on Xbox One.
Okay.
Even though I'm thinking like, I guess.
I'm thinking they developed it on the PS4 and are just releasing it on everything else.
That's what I was thinking, and I was like, that means if you just put it on the digital store, can it just kind of just
exist?
Be there for Xbox where I can just play it?
Yeah. So it obviously does not require the power of the Series X.
Like, does it really take that much? It's like, how much? Because please just tell me. I just want to know how much work does it take just to put on an Xbox One? Like, just to be on this, because, like, is there does Xbox make it like, hey, on our storefront, is there like they make it like, if they make it like two storefronts and not just one storefront, and like, hey, this is an Xbox One game and there's an Xbox Series X game, we take a percentage. Is there something that makes it not viable to do that digitally anyway? Yeah. I gotta stand physically, but digitally.
Yeah, especially if you're doing the work to bring it to the Series X. Like, how much work is it to then also get it running on the One X?
Yeah,
it's weird.
It is, man. But that's the reason those people said it. Even though I now got an official reason from those other guys, because they're not going to say. But I only can go by those guys. They're the experts.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. I mean, that's the only reason I can think of too. I mean, or they hate America. That's the only other.
Probably that one. I'm gonna go with that one. Definitely that one. All right, Dominic. In the last game we got here, WWE 2K24, out now on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. I've actually been seeing positive thoughts on that, so
and that's still going at PS4 and Xbox One. They haven't gone exclusive.
Is this the console generation where we are seeing like games releasing on the last gen for the longest time into the new console?
Yes, I think it is, Daniel, because people will argue that this has been happening before, but it only happened with sports games.
Yeah. And even then, like, we're like mid-gen.
No, sports games go for a long time.
Gen.
I think we just stopped paying attention because my brother, who's he's in prison, so because they get consoles but they get them like they're custom made for see-through, stuff like that. So they're always behind.
Oh, they get the cool like N64 see-through stuff. That's pretty sweet then.
Yeah. So they're always behind. So right now everybody's just stuck on Xbox 360 because nobody has gone any further than that to make a custom system for those PS4 or Xbox One. But I remember even back in the day when I had 360, he had like a PlayStation 2 or something or whatever things. And he was telling me because he got the new, like, man, I said, man, it's still coming out. Like, I forgot when the band stopped. But because he's in prison, he knows when they stopped because he's still getting it on the oldest console. He said, yeah, it's still coming out on, like, when he said his PlayStation, something like that. You back?
Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay. yeah, so sports games go for a really long time. So I would have to you have to look it up to see when they stop because I just know they go longer than I thought it was.
Yeah,
Thought they would.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that seems kind of crazy.
Because they find there's an audience but there's still like an audience, I guess, for those games, and plus then they probably don't cost as much. They don't cost much because right now I think at that point they're just updating rosters.
Yeah, honestly. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, but this generation, yeah, man, they really stand with a lot of these games. I mean, not just some sports games, and I mean even in the past generations, I know in Japan there'll be a game I see as like, hey, it's on a PS3 or something over there, but not over here, because of I think Japan, like they start going, they're not getting consoles like they used to. Yeah. I think once it got to the PS3 era, that's when things start going down. I think like PS4, yeah, they're just Switch, they're just handhelds at that point, or Nintendo or handhelds or something like that, big time. But yeah, this generation is that, and that's why I find it funny when people say that they can't wait to say, oh, good, this game is just exclusive. But I was like, it don't matter if it's just exclusive to the newer consoles, as long as they take the power of them. And then if they can be played on other ones, then I'm going to be like, well, you should put them on the other ones then. Because honestly, I think it's disingenuous that you are putting games that are not powerful on these that not take advantage of these new consoles. And I understand people say, yeah, they bought them. But look, sometimes these guys say, well, you fucked up. you got fucked. Look, some people buy stuff and they get fucked up. Then you get fucked over. Yeah. You get like, damn, it didn't work out like I wanted to. It happens. And like this generation, it feels that way. It feels that way. They're kind of not giving you the games that you.
Sad thing, it feels like it's kind of been that way for the last two generations.
Yeah, but yeah, honestly, yeah, because they do this mid-tier shit. Yeah. So yeah, the last two generations they've been doing that. They've been doing this, and it seems like it's going to continue. I think we're at a point where we are we're at a point where where these consoles, I mean these console makers and developers and things like that, they're trying to get as much money as they can and save as much money at the same time as they can also. Yeah. Listen, I mean, I appreciate what Sony's done with their first party games, that they put all huge production values in them and they make them look really good and things of that nature. I'm like, yeah, it's cool to look like the graphics of those games and what they've done and everything. But then I understand that everybody can do that, and then it's like, at what cost is that too? Like, darn, I mean, they did graphically take advantage of the game, but you know what? There's other ways to take advantage of the game that's not just graphics too. It's the power of the game. Sometimes like certain gameplay mechanics and stuff, it takes up power. It takes power for that. So you don't have to really
just look at Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
They could have a billion people on screen at once.
Like having like so much stuff going on screen at once and things of that nature, it helps. So you don't have to be huge graphics. You don't have to be movie production looking graphics too. But it's just that I'm not seeing anything that's really worth it. Like, I'm just saying like, hey, it's upgraded on this console, but it's not really a game changer where it's like, man, this can never be played on the last console. And I see enough of those games. And pretty much because some of those games are on those still past consoles. Really. Yeah. And then you piss me off when you say, we got the Switch version, and it's not streaming. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they really take advantage of these consoles. Got the shit playing on Switch. You got freaking Hogwarts Legacy playing on the Switch. Come on now. Get the fuck out of here. Now you're just telling me you probably could play that game. If you fixed it, if you really worked, you could have played that game on a 360, man. Goddamn.
Yeah. All right, Dominic, I have one late breaking news story here. Multiversus is coming to Happy Meals. We're back, baby. It's coming back.
What? What's happening coming to Happy Meals?
Multiversus.
Oh my goodness. We're getting toys and Happy Meals.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I know they've been getting toys, but they've been kind of sucky toys when I've been seeing them.
And those are designs, I will say, in Multiverses are pretty dang good. So, like,
yeah,
might be time to take my daughter to get some Happy Meals.
Oh no, Daniel! What is like $15?
It might be. I'm gonna say like, hopefully, still below 7.
And they give you healthy stuff now.
Yeah, which I appreciate because, you know.
No, that's appreciate, but I just feel like I shouldn't pay for it.
God. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Not pay for it. I mean, I shouldn't.
They definitely should have like different
high.
levels because it's not just. I mean, the fries are probably smaller, but they do give you like a burger, nuggets, fries, and apple slices, and then a drink. You know. So it's like they're giving you extra stuff. Although maybe those apple slices replace like a cookie or something, but I don't ever remember getting a cookie.
I remember getting a cookie. Yeah. I remember getting fries, burger, drink, and toy.
Yeah. So I think the fries might be smaller though, because
then the apple slices replace the toy. Sorry.
You know, I think, where was it that I got something and I thought it was like an option between, you know, apple slices or applesauce and a toy. I think it was Burger King I went to, and I was getting the applesauce because I was like, yeah, she'll eat the applesauce and she doesn't need a toy right now. She got plenty of stuff. And then they gave me the toy too, and I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. I'm gonna take both. I'm not gonna complain. So, but yeah, I like those designs. So I would like to see what the toys for a Happy Meal.
And there's so many characters. They should do like 101 Dalmatians and have all them.
Man, there were a lot of toys for that, weren't there? I want to get her an Arya Stark. That's all I want.
Hey, bring back the Monopoly game from McDonald's. Maybe I'll go back there.
No, they're not going to do that. Didn't they lose money or something? That's why.
Yeah, well, the latest Monopoly game I remember they did, it was horrible because it wasn't like it was, and I think that's when you had to go online, and I was like, I don't even care. I think everybody ended up having a Monopoly board with one missing sticker for each area.
For each,
so everybody needed the same sticks. So it was nobody. So everybody was saying like, "Hey, you have this sticker?" I say, "No." You say there was no trades really at some point because they knew what sticker not to have.
Absolutely. Yep, that was the game. All right, Dominic, you got anything else for the week?
I'm good, man. That just showed me how much we went to McDonald's back in the day. Man, times have changed.
Yeah. It's a lot more affordable then. And even then, it was still like, we're going to do this as a treat. All right. Yeah, we'll wrap this up then, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast. Until next time, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. See you.